As for update hours. All right, so here we are. Um, all right. So apparently we do actually have three whole people to watch this. Uh,
Woo.
Uncle
And keep climbing.
Riotous, Porphy, and then Dennis. Right. So for them, this is the fourth episode, but only the third one that's published. And a brief recap after some previous events on the train, it seems we have evolved into somewhat possibly of a murder mystery. Uh, with the death of the Althanian, as well as the disappearance of a couple of key members of the passenger list. The the conflict last time involved a couple of goblins and some hellhound-like creatures that didn't quite seem right. Not that a hellhound ever seems right, but these seemed less right than a normal hellhound. Uh, one of them was one of the goblins was unceremoniously hucked from the train inside of a chest, and the other, after assuming the shape form of a bear, was slain. This led us back to investigations, and we're going to pick up with the cast as Thargus and Hugo are setting about the chat, perhaps a good cop, bad cop style routine with the sort of Althanian posers that they've had contact with. Icarus has gone up to the front to talk to the conductor, I believe, about seeing if the train could go any faster to get through the Badlands, because there seems to be some suspicion that there might be some things happening in the Badlands. Wolfram has joined up with the young halfling guard mercenary for the train, and they are investigating the possible use of a magic item that might be disguising some individuals on the train. And Durdarog is sipping on a black coffee, staring menacingly at the butler for no apparent reason, but menacing nonetheless. So we're actually going to open up, and we see the train rushing along. We're leaving this tall grassland, and we're entering this stunty grassland. This is where the grassland sort of rolls up towards the edge of the Stormmaw Mountains, and it becomes the Badlands. The train will pass through here for the next several hours. The Badlands on their left, all the way out to the bloody-looking bay, where the red soil from the Badlands washes down. To the east, you have the stunty grasslands as they sort of roll past here. This entire area having been the sort of boggy grassland before a giant swamp in the past, the giant swamp being what is now the Badlands after centuries of being dried up. And so as we pan across, we swoop down, we see the engine of this train, this monstrous container that houses an elemental. And it is the elemental that powers this train, that allows this type of technology to exist. And as we zoom out here, we're hit with the sounds of clanking machinery, of hissing steam, of the wheels grinding along on this iron track as it zips along here. And there's a big metal door in front of you, Icarus. It has sort of one of those cartoony slots that you would slide back from the inside to be able to see who's out here. And this appears to be the only entrance to the engine itself.
Excellent. All right, so I kind of look at it and I take a moment to just enjoy the sound of the you just described, the engines, the machine. It's music to my ears, and I take the hammer off my side, and I just up boom, 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 on knock on the door with my hammer, slide it back in, stand with my arms folded, waiting.
Okay. A few moments pass, and the slide on the door is slid back, and you see this large set of eyes peering down at you. It's almost just eyes set in blackness, and you hear this this voice from the inside. What do you want?
I bring a message from KU Tentani.
Hold on a minute. You hear the slide back, and you hear a scraping noise.
Could I tell what that was?
It sounded like metal on metal, like almost like a chair.
I mean the thing talking to me.
Oh no!
Okay.
It also sounded like metal, but no. But it takes takes a few more moments, and
as I'm waiting, I'm kind of looking at the door to see if I were to have to dismantle the door to get through here, how would I do
that? So as you're kind of looking at it,
not taking any action, just looking. Yeah.
Right. It's probably one of the most stalwart doors you've ever seen.
Impressive.
It is obviously ruined with some magic.
Yeah.
You think it's
disappointed if it wasn't.
Right. You think it's probably something to do with keeping temperature down and perhaps helping to prevent electrocution. Sure. If you truly understood, electrocution by an elemental. But eventually the door does open, and you see the face of you're hoping it's a dwarf. If it's not, it is the ugliest, most bearded halfling you've ever seen. But he looks like that.
Zoinks. I say, Icarus turn at your service.
He nods and drops his little goggles back down, and come on.
I kind of hold up my holy symbol, take it as kind of like a badge, and slide it back on, walk in.
Okay. As he turns his back to you, you can see that he's wearing less of a shirt and more of remnants of a shirt. But on his back there's several burn marks. You might associate them with almost like a welding accident,
Yeah.
It's like splatter, right? It's almost like he got splattered with hot metal, and then it sort of webbed out from there. But
I've probably seen that before.
I would imagine. But over top of the large ones are these intricately tattooed holy symbols of the forge also.
Nice.
And he walks along. Inside here, the machinery doesn't clank or grind. It sort of thrums with an efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
But you also almost feel a heartbeat to the machinery, right? There's this syncopated sort of to it. And below you can see this eerie blue, yellow, green color that seems to dominate, if you could call it a basement of this car, right? The container underneath the car. And once in a while, you see what looks like maybe a black orb of an eye that rolls up to look at you and then disappears into this liquid or gas or pudding. You're not really sure what the consistency is because it seems to be amorphous. And the dwarf, he catches your attention with a quick rap of his wrench on one of the machines in there and beckons you to move faster. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I reluctantly speed up, but I'm taking it all in. I'm absorbing it with great reverence. This is a temple to me. This is a sacred place. So
He
I'm just following behind him.
he takes you along this corridor on the inside. This is probably outside of that the luggage compartment. This is probably the most tightly packed room on the train.
Mhm.
Both sides of you are just machines or parts of machines and piping. And some of them are hot, some of them are cool. And so it's this very weird sensation of walking through here. Eventually he rounds a corner, and at the end of this corner you can see a small desk that's bolted to the floor and two chairs that are bolted to the floor. He walks behind the desk and he drops his wrench down on the desk with a resounding sort of clang.
Mhm.
And he sits down, pours himself a drink, and points at the chair, like jabbing at it with his fist.
Yeah.
Sit down.
All right. Yeah, I sit down. I've dealt with dwarves all my life. I get it. It's his place, his dominion.
And
Um,
Anta's Tatani want.
well, I don't know how news travels here, but we've got some serious trouble on this train.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I was sent here by him at his bequest to see if we could do anything to speed up the train through this territory. We're in some serious danger. I'd hate to see something happen to this amazing, gorgeous piece of machinery. It's,
always these mages hunting to go faster. Never fast enough.
I get it. But listen, he's not wrong in this case.
You know what it takes to get this beast to go faster? You know what it takes?
My eyes sort of turn wide and I lean in. No, tell me. Tell me more.
It's not just a machine. It's the magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's he kind of leans in. You ain't never been here on one of these.
No, I haven't.
Imagine you hunting got the biggest horse, and with the big horse, you got the flimsiest string, and you untied that string around his neck, and then you smacked it, and you hold on. That's all we do.
Right. Okay.
Going faster, asking to break the string.
So you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, if we're going to use a bigger stick, we're going to need a bigger string.
He nods at you, and he puts out his cigar and he points over at another door. There's a string. I can ask. You can ask.
I can ask. And as seeing him smoke, I feel no hesitancy to take out my pipe and light it and kind of leaning on the table, puffing away on that as I'm looking at him. The pipe, by the way, is of course metal.
Sure.
It almost looks like a small chimney stack with a with a kind of a twisted pipe sort of coming out of it for the mouthpiece. Yes. Who am I going to be talking to?
The conductor.
Right. Any advice other than any advice?
He shakes his head. I mean, if it's Danny's hunting, yeah, he's got to do it.
Fair enough. All right. Let's get this done then. We don't have much time.
All right. He reaches
so
under a desk and pushes a button. You hear a gank, and the door, the big one, just sort of pops loose.
All right. I give him a courteous nod and yeah. Thank you. Maybe we can take a look around under better circumstances. and I go over to the door and just kind of knock it open and step through.
All right. Well, inside there, this room is almost pitch black, and it is maybe just larger than in your standard closet.
Mm-hmm.
The only light that could even possibly pervade in here, and it suffers, is you can still make out the tinge of that bluish green yellow that's underneath you in here.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of sitting amongst this blackness, maybe 3 feet off the ground, is the conductor, that green-eyed, creepy-looking him.
Oh, yeah. Terrific. All right. Mr. Conductor, sir, may I have a moment of your time?
He looks up. You can see now, and perhaps make the connection, that his eyes are the same color as the amorphous movement underneath the train.
Gotcha.
And he cocks his head to you almost in the same way a dog might. He's listening.
I say, I'm here as a representative of Mr. Tintani. We have some concerns about the safety of this train, and he strongly suggests that we go faster, at least through this next little leg of our journey. There's a very real threat that the train could come under attack, as it already has. I might point out.
He squints. And how much faster does he wish to go?
Well, he didn't give a precise measurement of speed. However, I presume the faster we can get through these lands, the better. I presume he understands your expertise and leaves that in your capable and wise hands.
I doubt that. He simply didn't wish to say something and be wrong. That's very Titani of him.
yeah, that KO, he plays him close to the chest. I'll give him that. Yeah.
You have no idea.
Well, so what should I tell him?
Well, tell him that those that serve him will do as he asks.
Terrific. Is there anything I can do to help? I'm a bit handy with machinery myself. I can turn a screw, if you know what I mean.
So he looks at you in this sort of very menacing, sickly way. How do you feel about sacrifice?
Well, I went without lunch one time because we had to get a job done. So I think I know a little bit about it.
He waves his hand, and you see that he just turns like in the air, and now his back is towards you.
I can probably get by on a dinner too if I have a good breakfast. You see
this long, like, stick-fingered nails come up and just.
Right. Well, I'll pass along your kind words. I sigh, shake my head on the way up, closing the door.
Okay.
I assume the dwarf is still out there.
Yeah, he's still sitting at the desk.
I kind of nod and I give him a nodding look. Say, charming. Yeah.
It happens when you lose half of this and replace it with half of
I'd
that.
I'd like to say I can imagine, but I really don't want to.
The room grows a brighter shade of this sort of green yellow, and you can feel this sudden lurch in the train, which you have not felt before because it's been a very pleasant, at least as far as the movement of the train goes, pleasant ride. And there's a sudden lurch. I mean, everyone feels it, but the train does begin to pick up speed. And inside this engine, you can hear this shrill cry of whatever it is underneath you. And for a moment, you begin to think that maybe he's getting the speed out of it the same way you make a horse run faster, right? Maybe there's a spur, maybe there's spurs or a whip involved.
Yeah.
But what type of spurs or whips do you use for an elemental?
Yeah. I say, well, is there anything I can do here to be of help? I can mix a mean drink.
He chuckles, if you can call it that, and he gets up from behind the desk, and he will spend the next half hour or so, unless you're interrupted, walking you through here and basically just chewing the fat with you about this, that, and the other. This, Stormont Mountains and what have you. He doesn't go into a whole lot of detail about how this thing runs, but
okay.
If you ask specific questions, he answers them. But it's basically, tighten this up, loosen that, turn that knob.
Yep. Yeah. Mostly I'm going to be absorbing it. I'm going to be walking through and like, memorizing every bolt, looking at every seam. If I see runes written, I look at those. I'm in school right now, so
you do come to realize that there's a good amount of bodging that happens up here. He's just as bodging.
Oh,
he's
okay.
just as prone to hit something with his wrench as he is to turn something with his wrench. Yeah.
I can respect that.
Sort of, clang, and it starts going again. So yeah, he'll spend time doing that.
All right, yeah, I'll stay with him as long as until he gets tired of me. So this is what I've been waiting for. So
percussive maintenance, exactly. All right, so we're going to we zoom out here. We go down the length of the train, and we're in the fifth car, and that's where we find Wolfram walking along with the young halfling mercenary, who is not taking the lead on this investigation, but has opened doors and unlocked things for you so far. And otherwise is kind of keeping to herself. It's not that she's begrudgingly with you. It's just that she doesn't have a whole lot to say.
Okay. So I also have a large hat. I'm going to doff my hat and give a slight bow. My lady, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Wolfram Van Gent at your service.
She wipes her hand on her trousers, and she reaches out and she shakes her hand, and it's a very firm shake, and you can feel a swordsman's calluses in her hands.
Right.
And she says, "My name's Adiron Shandal. Everyone calls me Addy."
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. hopefully we can be about this business and have it done with and spend time relaxing.
I doubt it. So, you point,
Smile.
I unlock, you tell me to stab, I stab.
Okay, so we're going to keep walking. Now, as I recall, we determined that some people had to be on board here in disguise, or people got aboard somehow while the train was in motion.
Right.
One of the two.
And you have, between you guys and the guards, you have pointed out that the crying lady, Tila, I think was her name. I don't even know if she ever gave it to you, but she's missing and has been since she basically accused Aquila of the murder and then got done wiping her blood all over Thargus, rather.
Okay. So as we conduct our searches, then I'm going to be searching areas large enough to hide a body in. I'm not going to be searching, every tiny little nook and cupboard.
Sure.
Unless I hear a chime in my ear.
Okay. And for the most part, the way the train is laid out, you walk down the center of it and you have these 2 rooms on either side. So a total of 4 rooms per train, right? 2 rooms either side. And, again, it's sort of marvel of the way they're set up is as you walk through a Corvite room, which is, done very ostentatiously, or you go through one of the Southern Kingdom rooms and it's more, there's incense burning and less metal and wood and more tapestries. Or you go through the Eastern provinces, they have room or a car here that's representative of them, and it's exotic woods and these stuffed animals, full size, I believe there's a zebra and a gorilla and a bear in there.
Okay, so as we see these things, I'm going to be trying to sort of mentally memorize bits and pieces of them, with the mind to someday I have to maybe portray or engender myself to those people. Then I'll try and remember their customs so I can act like them. And I'm doing it for selfish purposes, not historical purposes.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So you get to the 6th car, I believe 6th car, and there you see this older couple sitting in their car. The husband looks kind of fretful and worried, and the old woman is fast asleep, her head in his lap. She does not necessarily look like she's resting comfortably there. Her body seems to be at an odd angle, almost like maybe the old man had to tug her onto the bench with him, and wasn't strong enough to get her up there comfortably. Like one of her rotund legs is hanging off, and you can see her dress is kind of pushed further up her than maybe it's supposed to be, where he kind of tugged. And he is sopping wet from brow to chest in sweat, and he's kind of breathing hard, and he kind of tries to cock a smile at you, but you can see he has a very concerned look on his face.
Okay, so I'm going to go in. I guess I'll have this halfling female. She sounds like she's going to be tagging second. I'm going to sit down opposite him. I'll smile broadly at him. Good day, sir. I've recently been employed to inquire about the satisfaction of the passengers on our trip, if they're enjoying the train. And you seem, if I may be so bold, distressed. Your lady friend does not seem to be sleeping peacefully. What is there anything wrong?
She is sleeping. I just Something happened, and she collapsed in the floor.
Oh,
And
what happened?
I don't know. We were off to get some tea, and we were just outside the room, and she cried out and fell, and I have to admit I felt very lightheaded myself, but I held it together, and some other man came by, and I suppose you could say, looked in on her. He made sure that, and he holds his hand up to his neck, and her heart was still ticking, and he was off on his way, and so I didn't want to be too much of a bother, so I drug her back in here, and I tried to get her as comfortable as possible, but I'm afraid these old muscles just aren't what they used to be.
Well, I have recently made an acquaintance who happens to be a healer of sorts. Perhaps he could be of help.
Ugh.
I'm sure he would be happy to do so.
Ugh. He kind of leans across her a little bit, and you hear her, and she's just out. You know, what would really help? Could you get her off of me so I could pee?
I'll laugh. Of course. I'll pick her up best I can. I'll set her on the bench opposite him.
Yeah, so he helps, and you guys get her sat up, and he helps prop her up, and even pulls down like a bag from up top. And as he pulls the bag down, Rob, you get a little ding ding.
Okay. What's he doing with the bag? Like, is he pulling
He's
a blanket at him? Or taking it
He's
with him?
putting it up against her to kind of like wedge her between the wall of the train and this bag so that she stays sitting upright, but she keeps slumping to the side.
Okay. And then where is the privy on this train?
So each one has one at the end, the butt end of the cars.
Okay.
Right, and as far as you can tell, it's literally just a seat that has a hole that goes to the ground. Because I mean,
Right. I get it. It's those times, and this is actually kind of luxury for really those times. So,
you can give me a
see
spot check real quick too.
I will. That's a perception, and I get a 17.
Okay.
Playing some 3X lately?
Yeah, no, I don't even remember what I was playing. It just popped up. But you see up on the shelf where he just pulled the overhead, right? Where he just pulled this bag down from, something crudely stone ? Catches your eye up there. You hear like a little stuk as it falls over.
Okay. I'm going to say to him, yes, I will keep an eye on her. I will make sure nothing happens to her while you go relieve yourself.
Oh, that's very kind of you. And he moves painfully as though perhaps he's been stuck that way for a little bit and really had to pee.
Okay.
And he goes out and he looks back and he smiles a toothy grin, and he waddles on down to the bathroom.
I'm going to, as soon as he's out of earshot, I'm going to say happily with you, just follow him and make sure that is where he's going and that he comes back, just in case.
She nods and turns and steps out into the hallway, and then appears to be checking something. Like she pulls like a dagger out and she's looking at it, but she's holding it up so that she's looking down the length of the train, right? And she's just turning it and looking at it.
So while no one else is looking, I'm going to just snatch up this stone thing I saw.
All right. It has a very, very rough shape and feel to it. It trying to think like what the
What's the approximate dimensions of it? Is it the size of a fist? Is it the size of a quarter? Is it marble?
no. A can
An
of soda?
obelisk? Okay.
Can of soda, perhaps?
Okay. I'm going to slip it into a pocket.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'll apologize later. And then I'm not very skilled at this, but I will go and give a cursory exam to the woman, make sure she's not dying. That's really all I'm trying to determine.
Right now, you're she appears to be like very asleep, but not dying. Can you see that? Yeah. So it's kind of what it what
Okay.
it looks like.
Okay. I will have a friend
As
of
you
mine
pick
give
it,
a
as you
close
pick it up,
examination.
there is almost like a static shock to it, right? Not the character, but like the actual like static.
Got it. So I might just wrap it in a quick piece of cloth and then stuff it in a pocket.
Okay. Eventually, the old man comes back. You see, he walks by the halfling and he smiles and I hope you don't have to use that. And he comes back in. That's a weight off the old kidneys.
I'll give him an exaggerated smile and a laugh too at his comment. There seems to be no change with your wife. I will ask my
Hasn't
friend
been
who is
for 50 years.
I will have my friend who is a healer come take a look at her.
All right.
Thank you for your cooperation. And if there's anything else we can do to help you enjoy a satisfying trip, just let me know.
All right. He yeah, an extra pillow would be nice.
Okay. The nearest empty coach I come to, I'm just going to steal
Walk
a pillow out
across
of
a
it.
room, grab the pillow
Pretty
from the other
much.
car. Here you go.
just like I've seen people do in waiters in restaurants. They just take the salt off the next table, right?
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So you run into a couple of other groups of individuals, right? All of them are from Core. Every single one of them, or at least they're from the Kingdom of Core, maybe not the capital, but they're from the Kingdom of Core or the outlying areas. And they all give you the same sort of, oh no, everything's fine. There's not, some of them, there's a very jolly looking man who questions you about, I've heard there was a murder.
There is something exciting going on. I don't have any details yet. They only tell me so much. But I will find out, and certainly if there's anything you need to be worried about.
Yes, you'd let me know, right?
Of course. Passenger safety is paramount.
Yeah, and tell me, is that is it true that there's an Althanian on board? You know that, wouldn't you?
I've heard the same rumor, but I give him a wink. I can't confirm it.
Yeah. You know what they say about those Althanians?
I don't. What do they say?
Well, let me tell you. So, the kingdom of Althania is said to be built with the richest of stone, the most luxurious metals, all of this wealth. But there's only maybe 2,000 or 3,000 of them left. But they have an entire kingdom of money. And I mean,
Wow.
just quick math. That's a lot of money per Althanian. And I mean, I'm not saying anything, but if there's an Althanian on board, there's probably got money with them.
Could be. Perhaps you should ingratiate yourself to such a fellow, and he might be generous with that money. I know
Oh,
exactly where I'm trying to deflect.
maybe, but that would require I don't know, my trick back, and I got a bum knee, and
Yes, they might be stimulating conversation. You sound like you know a lot of interesting stories.
maybe. But if you hear anything, you'll let old Tom know, right?
Of course, Tom.
Uh, yes. And he goes back to like rummaging through stuff that at very first glance is worthless garbage. This guy, he's got knickknacks that he's bought probably somewhere down in Stormmaw or crap, wherever it was you were coming from.
Started with a C. Callus, something like Callus.
Something. Yeah. Anyway, a bunch of knickknacks that someone sold him. Like he's got, he's in there looking at fool's gold, thinking it's real gold, essentially, or he's got, rose quartz, thinking it's some precious stone.
Okay, so I'm going to say that amongst his knickknacks, he's got like a tiny, tiny palm-sized, worthless jewelry box, and I'm going to slip a copper piece in there just to keep him busy.
All right. So as you leave, you kind of hear a come from behind you, and then the door just closes.
Okay.
But other people ask you if there's things going on, and you deflect. And so one older lady even asked you if you would mind going back to the luggage car and fetching her things for her. She heard that the car had been opened and doesn't want my stuff floating about.
I'll just tell her, I'm afraid we cannot allow that right now. None of the belongings must be moved for safety precautions and to protect all the passengers' belongings, of course. But not to worry, everything is fine.
She harumps and humps a lot, and that's about it.
I'll just smile her down.
So as you leave the last car, and you're staring back at the luggage cart, Addie looks up at you. Well, that's all of them. Find what you're looking for?
Yes. I'm not sure. I think we should have a little chat with my friends and with KO and see what it means put together. We might be looking at just a few pieces to a bigger puzzle.
Well, this is where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go take inventory of the luggage car. If I find anything suspicious, I'll let you know.
Okay. I'd like to maybe try and get a read on her just to see. I'm pretty sure she's sincere. She was assigned me, but
yeah, you can give me a roll.
All right, insight roll.
Mm-hmm.
My 13 plus what? What's insight? So I got a 14.
Okay. She looks like she's very worried about something.
Okay.
But you also remember that during the first evening that you were told that she was kind of the head of the guards here, like the mercenary unit that's attached to this.
I gotta trust her. I mean, she could be part of it, but I'm gonna trust her, and
Okay.
I'm gonna make my way back.
You see her walk towards the luggage car, right? But she hasn't come back this far, and she looks where the door should be, and then you see her
I'll pick up
look
my
where
pace.
the hole in the railing is, and then she looks back towards you just in time to see you kind of walk in the door.
Yeah, walking out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
It was like that when I found it.
all right. So let's jump back up. Hugo, Thargus, how are you doing this? Are we good cop bad copping it, or are you guys in your individual rooms?
I'll leave that up to Thargus. We'll let him make the call.
Maybe we can find some
rumors, maybe from some of the the scuttlebutt on the train. Maybe find out if someone if they've noticed something, or maybe one of them has gone missing or is acting strangely.
Okay. And are you guys like? Well, I guess the big question was: are you talking to them together or individually? Like you have right now, you have the young lady in her room and in a room, and then you have the other two guys in another. It's just a matter of who do you want to talk to first, and are you guys talking as a team, or how are you dividing up the?
I say we talk to them together.
Okay.
You mean Hugo and Thargus talk to them together, but we talk to them independently of each other?
Yes.
Right.
Okay,
So 2-on-1.
There's two of us. There's two of us, and there's three of them. So we two talk to one of them at a time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and then like this. I mean,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just like that second one exactly.
Right.
All right. So
There was no way around it. I mean, I don't know.
right. So the butler helps you. He buttles one of them to another room, so that you have all three of them in separate rooms at this point. And who do you want to? You have a red-haired young man who seems to be the instigator amongst them. You have a blonde young man who seems to. The read you get is that he's doing this because he thinks that they think it's cool. And then the young lady who she's the only one who has ever seemed abashed at their actions. So,
But we'll just start with her, I guess, and then work our way around.
all right. So he has her essentially sitting in almost like a not much larger than like a 4-person booth at a restaurant, right? It's like a private dining booth that's attached to the back end of the dining car, across from the magical kitchen, essentially. And she's sitting in there quietly, facing the door. So she's got like the odd seat of it. And when she sees you walk in, she sort of sits herself up, and her hands are on the table in a very sort of proper, I'm not doing anything pose. And as you come in, the first thing she does is, "Am I in trouble?"
That remains to be seen.
I look at Hugo like, no, young lady, everything's fine. We're just inquiring about some things because there's been some really bizarre occurrences on the train, and we're just helping out. So relax, no big thing. We're just going to ask a couple of questions because we kind of want to know ourselves, and it'll be fine.
Okay. And my brother Davis, is he in trouble?
No. I don't really think anyone's in trouble.
Oh,
I think many of us we heard things and saw things. Could you tell us what you've seen lately? Anything out of the ordinary? I understand the train itself is out of the ordinary itself, but
no, the train's not that. I take it from mother to father's house all the time. Out of the ordinary. That gnome with the sea creature that he has with him. That's out of the ordinary.
I nudge Hugo, like, make a note of that.
I just looked at Thargus and then look back at the girl.
Mental note.
Yeah.
What else?
Listen,
The conductor, I saw him. He doesn't come out very often.
you do realize there has been a murder on this train, correct?
She looks like she blanches white. Yeah, you don't think that I mean, he's an Althanian.
Yes,
So-
so it is important that we get to the bottom of who killed him.
Well, I would think it would be, but I didn't do it. Davis didn't do it.
So have you
Your
seen?
other friend?
I want to know if she's seen anyone that, like she said, the conductor maybe poked his head out. Is there anyone you've seen on a train that seemed to have surprised you, suddenly appeared? I mean, this train isn't that large. Most of us have seen most of the passengers, even in passing. Have you seen anyone?
I haven't really paid that close of attention. I mean, the old people are boring, and I mean, you and that smooth talking fellow, and the gnome with his sea creature. To be honest, it would seem that you and your friend here are amongst the strangest things on the train. So maybe someone should be casting some aspersions on you. Did you kill the Althanian?
I just look at her like calmly, like without really any sort of expression on my face.
And she points at your like waist. Is that all your blood?
Okay, young lady. I think maybe the questions have come to an end. I know I didn't get this blood is from. Listen, you need. Okay.
This blood's from the outfit.
Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's. So someone died, and they were hurt, and I went to help, and then I'm going to leave now because I understand that I'm upsetting you very much.
My father is an oath keeper.
I just look at
And-
Dargus again, like, what the fuck are you doing?
What did you say your name was, stranger?
I'm Thargus from the Droganti family. I know you've heard of us. We may not be as
No, you're a merchant family.
yes, very much so. And
Merchant of
look-
death, I see.
Everyone just stop for a moment.
what?
We are asking the questions, Thargus, not this girl.
Clearly.
Oh, yes. That is correct.
Right. So no one is going anywhere until we get to the bottom of this. I do not care who your father is.
Well, you wouldn't. You see, she just eyes you up and down with your plain robe.
Not plain robes, like it's all burnt up and crispy in places,
It's like
like covered in blood.
she's
To answer one
murderer
very
and a
serious
pyromaniac.
To answer the very one serious question as to where this blood came from, it is the Althanians. And some
I
of
can
it
tell.
is mine, yes. But the important thing here is to eliminate you and your friends as suspects. So evading any further questions will not help in that matter. So you will remain here while we speak to the rest of your friends.
Well, I hope you have better questions for them.
I just look flustered and leave the room.
Okay. So you have the redheaded boy and the blonde, or the redheaded guy and the blonde guy.
Let's go with the blonde.
Okay.
think he's got attitude.
Okay. So you go in, and he is sitting very similarly to her, and he immediately stands up hard enough that he actually hits the table. If the table weren't bolted, it would have gone, caterwaul. Huh. He just looks back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm sorry. We didn't know better. When we didn't know you were friends with Ko Tatani. Oh, you're gonna tell our father, aren't you? Oh,
There's a very strong possibility that will happen, yes.
I told Beverly this was a bad idea. I told her.
It's best you come clean now and save yourself any trouble in the future.
Okay. Barely wasn't accepted into the academy, and so we forged the acceptance letter, and we told Dad that's why we had to go back to see Mom, and that we're going to be there for a while. And I didn't know that Ko Tatani was going to be on the train, and so now we're probably going to get sent through the gate, and they'll eat us. And Dad'll find out, and I told her it wasn't a good idea. Huh. And let me guess, you're one of the church people, aren't you? You're probably this is like last rites before you send me through the gate. Tell me to pray to Kor for my soul, or the wild things on our side are going to eat me. And
you indeed should pray.
What?
For your soul, you should pray.
Now?
Well, daily at least.
Oh, you think it'll... I mean... Oh, if Dad finds out, my soul's not going to matter. Is there any way I could bribe you?
Alexa Thargus.
Of course. I mean, your dad will be fine.
My dad's an oath keeper. He's not going to be fine.
He doesn't have to know about this at all.
Okay. I mean, you can tell Mom. That's okay. She won't care.
All right. Now, if you wanted to give something in exchange for silence, a favor maybe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no problem. You name it.
I mean, it's not a big deal, but maybe I'll come back to you later. My dad,
Hey, man, we all got dad problems.
Yeah.
But your dad's not an oath keeper, is he?
Ooh, he doesn't like to keep oaths at all. Not at all. Yeah, he's a pretty violent man. But yeah, you and I, yeah, kid. We'll talk.
All right, so we're good then. We're good here. We're good here.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell us what you know about the Alfanian on board.
You see, he reaches into like a small satchel he has, like almost like a messenger bag, and he produces a notebook, and he flips through it, and yeah, well, he's I don't know his name. I know the family name is Nevis. He's essentially a prince. He has a taste for fine wine and attractive women. This is the third or fourth time he's been on this train to Core. His my notes aren't very good. I could give you more information on the other Althanian from last week, but not this one.
Why don't you just go ahead and give me the notebook and we'll call it even?
Ooh. You see, there's things in here that I can't
Let your
they could
father
get me in
find
a
out
lot of
about.
trouble. No, well, I think my father knows about some of them, but
Mhm.
if these were to fall into certain, and you see, he looks at you, certain hmm, Oasis type people, it wouldn't be very good for me or my sister.
Is she the one who forged the letter?
Who?
Your sister?
My sister? Oh, no, we paid someone for that.
But she's the one who did not get into the academy legitimately, correct?
She didn't.
Yeah. Your sister is not as cooperative as you have been.
She never has been. She puts on this very stalwart front. When we were little, she always wanted to go and be a mage, and she just never had the talent for it. So that's why she keeps me around. I suppose I help her fake it.
Yes, it would be a shame that someone who wanted something so badly in life could not achieve it on their own merit and then had to lie and cheat and perhaps even steal to get there.
Well, he looks at you and then he looks at Thargus. Are you talking about me or him?
Talking about you and your sister.
Oh, we don't have to steal anything.
Well, no, she is stealing in a way. I'm sure there is someone who is more capable who would not now have their position at the academy. Because
He
your sister
he like
stole.
kind of gives you like a nodding or a knowing nod, like yeah, this guy. But it's what she's always wanted. I don't know what her plan is once we get back to Core. I mean, she can't turn up at the academy. She'll fail her first day.
Yeah. Do you think that would look good on your father? Do you think you look good on your father once Keotatani finds out that you and your sister had forged documents?
I mean, he doesn't have to find out, right? That's what we talked about earlier.
I look at the notebook.
He doesn't have to find out at all. I kind of like, I'm going to give Hugo a look like, let's keep this between us. That's enough.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to come in for information about your Althanian friends, and then I'll return it to you.
Fine. And he drops this leather-bound journal on the table.
I scoop it up.
Right. So, we're good then?
Yes.
Can I go and...
You can wait here. We'll be back. I turn and I begin to like walk out.
Okay.
Then I hold the door for Thargus. Let him exit.
Mhm.
Close it. Look, if we're going to get to the bottom of anything here, if there is anything to get to the bottom of, then we need to have some sort of understanding that I do not intend to cause these children any harm. I'm merely pressing them for information.
They're just kids. I mean, and it's maybe you don't understand, but it's the way things work. All right. Forged documents and getting into academies. That's whatever. You need to let that stuff go. I mean, yeah, are they scared about daddy finding out? Sure, but I mean, I've done plenty of things too.
Do you think I intend to turn them into Keo Tatani about these forged documents?
Well, you kind of seem like it. Yeah. Don't.
Yes, I want to seem like it to him, and I point back at the room to like we were just in. I don't care about the academy or their forged documents or their father or their lies or their stealing. All those things come out in the end. He said himself that she wouldn't last more than a week at the academy. What good would it me for to turn? What good would it do me to turn her in?
All right. Well, I caught you reading a book, and you a little hard to read you there, buddy.
I understand, but this interrogation is like a game. You understand? I guess. I'm playing a part.
All right. Okay. I'll play along. I'm just trying to feel out who some of the players are on this train as well.
Like you said to yourself, you have a shared background as these noble light children do, right? You come from money and wealth and important families. So do they. I don't come from that position. I don't have any idea who these people are or what they're talking about. That's why I need you in there to sort of help me out. To be it's opposite side of the coin, if you will. Someone that they can trust, share a commonality with.
All right.
Well, let's take a moment, though, and flip through this book and see if we can gain any further insight before we question them some more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then I'll openly share the book with Thargus, whether he reads over my shoulder or what have you. We huddle together there, in the space between the cabins, and thumb through this book as best as we possibly can.
So most of the book reads, part diary, part notes, right? It's, Burley asked me to do this, Burley asked me to do this, Burley asked me to do this. And so he does have notes on 3 different Althanians. And they all seem to be people that they've watched on the train, either coming to Core or going away, or just in the short trip from the Althanian border to Stormaw and back. It'll always seem to go to Core. But flipping through it, you can find that there have been 6 regular trips in the past 6 months from the Althanian border to Core that Barely and Davis have been on. And most of the notes are, he holds his fork like this, or he eats like that, or he had 2 blonde women, or he had 3 guys with him. One of them had pet monkeys, and it's more like detailed notes on what they look like and how they behaved, and you can see like partial sketches that he's done, and occasionally he has a thought, off to the side of wondering if he were to cast a spell in the same posture that Althanian seemed to be reading his book in, would it change the spell? Like, there's a lot of novice magical theory out in the borders of this book. He does go on to on several things he constantly talks about paying Barely back, but never says to what, at least not that you're able to look through, flipping through it. The back half of it is lost on you as it changes into magical runes. Right? If you had to guess, there's probably 2 or 3 spells that he's inscribed into this book in the back of it. And at the very, very end of it, you find a parchment that's enfolded into quarters and tucked in the back of it. And when you unfold it, you see a letter from what is an academy examiner, and it talks about the fact that Barely not only did not pass entrance to the exam, that she has no magical aptitude whatsoever that they were able to detect. And just past that, he kind of goes on this rant about he wasn't able to find a way to get close enough to her to affect the outcome of her test. Right? That the last minute change of venue, he didn't know the rooms of the building layout. He couldn't get close enough to Barely for him to essentially be able to fake the magic for her. And it kind of trails off with this entry and him talking about, so the plan now is they're going to hire someone to fake the documents, and they're going to go to Mom's and not ever, there's nowhere does it give you any intention that they're ever going back to Dad's, like ever. And that's more or less it. You have 3 very valid descriptions of Althanians that you could put to use at some point. And kind of the comings and goings of them over a 6-month period.
Do you think he's been to the academy?
That, or as a side effect, maybe he's learning quite a bit more than he really thinks he's going. Maybe he's the kid that should go to the academy. Yeah, we'll give the kid back his book at some point. But this information about the Althanians, I mean, if the rumors are true that there aren't that many of them, why are they leaving the country and riding the train as often as they are? I mean, what would be the point? Meetings, face-to-face talks, trade, information.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. I don't think. I mean, we'll talk to the last kid, but I don't think they know that much. Maybe they might have picked something up, but I don't know. I don't see them having anything to do with these murders. But they may have stumbled on something, though.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, let's...
Okay. So the last kid, there's not another booth that is available for him. So Barrett has put him up in one of the nearby car's rooms. And as you enter that car, he is pacing back and forth the length of the room, much in the way a caged animal would. Like, he looks out, he paces, and is this glaring sort of look about him as he?
Nervous.
Anxious.
Why don't you have a seat?
I'd rather stand.
I'd rather you sit.
I guess we're both disappointed.
What are your friends traveling? What are you and your friends traveling for?
We're headed to Core. Didn't they tell you?
For what?
A vacation of sorts.
Vacation?
Yeah, get away from it all.
Yeah,
We travel like this a lot.
yeah, I hear you, kid. Probably it's nice to get away from family, isn't it? Every once in a while, just
I suppose.
I know you've heard about the murder on the train, right? Have you seen anything? Heard anything? Rumors?
Probably nothing more than they did.
Sure. Listen, you guys sit in that dining car and watch every single person come in and out of there. I know you've had to have seen some kind of odd behavior. You're too smart for that. And I'm sure far too perceptive not to let something go unnoticed.
Is that your fear that I noticed something you didn't?
I'm pretty sure you saw something that the rest of us didn't.
Hmm.
You're the cornerstone, the alpha male in this group. I can tell just by your attitude. I've got a brother that kind of reminds me of you, and yeah, he's got that killer instinct in him. He's got that aggression right underneath the surface, and he doesn't let anything get past him. Nothing. I think you're like that.
Maybe.
How are you and the other two related?
Friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you help them forge these documents?
Yep. You gonna arrest me now?
No, I don't have the authority to arrest you.
Didn't think so.
I could.
No one on this train really does.
I could prevent her from getting into the academy. And I could tell her father.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
I don't want to do these things, though. I don't also want to be an ass to you. But I need you to not be an ass to us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a man dead on this train, and I'm covered in his blood. So, I have very little time for your shit, boy.
I'm sorry. How can I speed this up for you?
I'm going to move to grab him by the collar.
He doesn't. I mean, you grab him and he doesn't even like reflects to it.
Are you used to being hit? Your father, perhaps?
I've hit him once or twice.
You've hit him.
How about you?
So
Used
you're
to
a
being
tough
hit?
guy. I've been hit a time or two in my life. Yeah.
Spend a lot of times on your knees repenting for it.
No.
Did it make you feel better when you turned your life over? Is that where you get strength from now? In sacrifice and giving up? Or is it just throttling young men? You can hit me if you like, if it'll make you feel better. Is that what you want?
No, I already told you what I want.
That's right. More time.
I like this kid. He's got stones. Yeah, he's gonna change the world. Stare it down.
I will.
Yeah, everything sucks. You've got it all under control.
Not everything sucks.
I let him go.
Just he straightens his jacket. Not everything sucks. Just certain groups of people. And you see, he kind of looks up and to the left. Wow. We don't have too long to wait, do we?
What are we
do you
waiting
mean by
for?
that? What do you mean by we don't have too long to wait?
He just looks at you.
All right. Why don't you educate us older folks? Give us a little lesson.
Education's not my calling, but you'll figure it out sooner or later. I believe in you.
Yeah.
You do realize we can implicate you and your friends in the murder of this Althanian, correct?
No. I mean, of course, I say this to the kid here, so I just look at Hugo and I'm like, he doesn't know anything. He's just all bluster and bluff. He's an empty shell. I mean,
I look between like Thargus and the kid, and
like he's all ego. He doesn't know anything, and it's all he's got. I kind of feel for a kid because I know what that's like, man. Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to let us know something or tell us something, if he had any information about, a dead Althenian, he'd be the first one to say something. And so he doesn't have anything.
yeah,
But I don't make a move to get up yet, though.
Maybe you're right. And I look back at it. I'm like, he does seem a little bit like a wounded animal, right? Trapped in a corner.
Yeah.
Nowhere to
I've
go.
been called worse, but better.
No one to talk to. No friends. No true friends, anyway, right? Nothing to belong to.
Well, not all of us have to belong to something to feel some worth. Besides, I'd rather be respected and feared than admired and befriended.
I laugh a little bit at him, like, come on, boy, no one fears you.
You didn't.
At least no one in this room.
And that's why you didn't hit me. I understand. Did you want to step outside and get one of your friends who might actually hit me?
I didn't hit you because I didn't want to.
Wow. You call it the way you see it. I'll call it the way it is. Now, were you going to step outside and get someone who might actually do something, or you're going to proselytize and...
Is that what you want? You want to be tortured? For information that you don't have?
Anything that gets you out of the room. I can smell the stench of self-defeat, self-loathing, and a neediness on you. There's no place for you in this world anymore. No need for you.
Is that what you think? Very well. When you've grown up a little, perhaps maybe you'll have a difference of opinion, or maybe you think that the benefit of youth is all you really need. I understand that you come from money, a lavish lifestyle, I'm sure.
You think you know me?
I know all I need to know about you.
Oh, please, enlighten me.
Well, your arrogance speaks volumes. How many years are you, son? 16, 17, 19 tops?
20,
what can you possibly
but
know about the world?
what can I know about the world? Well, far more than you. I haven't confined myself to a dusty church and a dusty book.
No, you just ride back and forth on this train with your friends, pretending to be something you're not. Wizards, the scholarly type, tough guys, criminals, whatever it is, shirking their responsibilities, disobeying people's fathers, attempting to, I don't know, buck the system, I guess.
You think I care whether or not she obeys her father?
Oh, that's it then. You just don't care about anything. You're just...
Oh, no. I have my cares. I have my causes. Just
sure.
mine don't involve an illusion in the same way yours do.
Of course. Yeah. An illusion.
Well, sure. What do you know of the world? You're what? 30? You're old.
I just nod, yeah. Like, that's right.
You spent most of your time in a church. And when you're not in the church, you what? You Are you the type that walks the streets and hands out food and looks over his shoulder for a nod from the others, or are you one of the old guard? You do it because that's what you were taught. That's what you feel will make the world better. That the poor don't need their strikes and their burdens, that people like you will make life easier for them and better. You see, you're no different than those in power. They give and they take and they control. And you give and you take and you control. You see, by putting on your robe and taking off merchant's garb, one of you've traded one set of rules for another. And do you make those rules? Either of them? Do you have any influence of any of the rules that you chose to live under? Or have you just accepted them? Now, be a good boy and go fetch someone else.
I just look at him like not like I'm frustrated with him, or I look at him like I'm sad for him. Like I feel bad for this kid that like the world has like destroyed him and he's barely 20 years old, you know. I'm sorry for you.
You know, Hugo, don't worry about it. I just see a dark reflection, man.
Oh, no. We're nothing alike. I'll have accomplished something before I die.
My father. How he would love you.
Huh, makes one of us.
I get up and head towards the door, my back to the kid, because he's kind of getting under my skin, but I really don't want him to see it on my face, and I kind of just open the door, stand in the doorway, hoping that Hugo follows.
Yeah, I follow him up.
I just, when I get out in the hall, I close the door gently and just like take a deep breath, like, oh, that kid. Oh.
So, Dirdirog, you see that, and Wolfram, you're walking back in time to see that as well.
Maybe you should have hit him.
Yeah, it would have felt pretty good.
Take it in.
I mean, it wouldn't have meant anything, but it would have felt good. Oh, well. There's still time.
Have you learned anything?
I've learned I don't like young people.
I'm not going to respond to that. Instead, I'll just turn and look at Hugo.
I don't think
Did you learn anything
to do with it? They don't seem to be very forthcoming. One, and doesn't sound like they really know anything about anything other than what's in this journal.
I do not wish to be presumptive, but many men of the cloth, such as yourself, have some limited healing abilities. There is an older woman who seems to be in some distress, and if you have such abilities, could perhaps use your administrations?
I'll see that way, and I point like the direction you came from.
I'll give them the car number, like 9
Sure.
or 11 or whatever it was.
Okay. I'll flip the journal to Thargus, and I'll just say like I guess make sure he gets it back. And I head off that direction.
All right. She's with an old man.
I have the journal in my hand so that Wolfram sees it. And
Evidence? Is that something of use?
Maybe. You might want to take a look at it. It's got some young kids been taking notes about the Althenians that have been riding the train.
You can be back anytime you want, Alex.
I found something that might be of use as well, but I think perhaps I'll let Icarus look at it. He seems the most suited among us.
Okay.
Yeah, at that, Icarus walks back in. He's at this point he's wearing his armor, which like you can see on the screen there. He's in his full regalia. On his shoulder is that the cephalopod looking thing that's sort of like the mechanical cephalopod hanging on its tentacles sort of wrapped around part of the shoulder, and he's smoking a pipe. He's got a big book in his hand that he's writing in. Oh, hey, we're back.
I'm going to point to his octopus. Does that eat?
No, it doesn't. Ideal pet.
Good,
How's
good. Listen, I wonder if you could. I'll sort of look around, make sure no one's in earshot other than our immediate group. I wonder if you might take a look at this. There's definitely something special about it, and perhaps a bit dangerous. I'm going to hand him the rock, but still wrapped up in the cloth.
Sure. He folds up his book and
out of sight as much as you can, as you do.
Gotcha. So he closes his big book, stuffs in there, stuffs his charcoal pencil into his other pouch, and he sits down. He says, "All right, let's clear some room." And he points to Thargus. Stand right here, right in front of me. Just block the view. I need some privacy. So,
All right.
I kind of roll out this piece of cloth. It looks almost like a little small, like 1117 altar cloth, and it has like all this sort of kind of a little mechanistic looking edge to it, and in the center is the holy symbol that that matches the one on his side, which he takes out. And he puts this item in the center of it, and he sort of reaches into his shirt and he pulls up this little pendant, and in this beautiful silver setting is a pearl, a beautiful simple pearl, and he puts the holy symbol down, twists it, and begins to concentrate and offer prayer. The wheel continues to turn as we look deep into the bowels of the machine to learn its ways. And he's turning this, and you see the pearl glow ever so slightly. And I'm casting identify.
Right, I figured as much.
Yeah.
George Rock, what are you doing during all this? You muted yourself to talk.
No, I wouldn't try. I was trying to do just exactly.
Yeah.
Whoops. Did it again.
You did it again.
All right. How's that work? Now we got it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take a look at that the journal that they came out with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm more interested in their descriptive terms for the Albanians.
Althanians, yeah.
Althanians. All right, sorry.
The Albanians. They're all from Albania.
For the Althanians.
Mm-hmm.
And because of previous exposure, I'm trying to pick up things that they noticed that are off kilter without them knowing that they were off kilter, or giveaways as to identities of these Althanians, and see if there's a common thread that I can find with it.
Okay. So the only common thread you find is out of the three Althanians that they talk about, one being the dead one, and then two others. The two others seem to be related. And you are pretty sure from the description that they give are from the the Espelacopa house, which it's one of the oldest families and the family that is considered like the foremost on magic.
Uh-huh.
That family is the family that designed the whole rail system.
Okay.
They're also the biggest proponents of sealing the gate and not having anyone go through it. But that family is also rifted because some of them, a small percentage of them, maybe like 70-30, are all for the exploration of it because they don't know what type of power, wealth, information might be on the other side.
Right. And the guy that died is from an entirely different group.
Yeah, he's from the Ott Nevis family, and they are more. I mean, they're still movers and shakers, but most Althanians are. They're more of a merchant, trades, stuff like that.
Okay. And politically wise, they're opponents.
No. There's really no. Ideologically, maybe they're opponents,
Right.
but politically wise,
Yeah. Okay.
Meh. They meh.
They're Althanians. They don't oppose each other, just the rest of us.
They don't oppose the rest of you either. They just look down on most of you.
Yeah, well, same difference.
So as the spell completes, there is this sickening sulfuric smell that emanates from the stone. And so Identify tells you the properties of it and if a spell was used to create it, what spell was
Right.
used to create it, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
if they have enchantments on it, or if if it has any properties. Yeah.
right. So it is enchanted, and it is enchanted in such a way that whoever the owner or perhaps creator of it knows where this item is at all times, can probably hear, see, smell, taste everything going on around it. It is the best you can tell, it is an anchor of sorts. A planar anchor. And if you aren't mistaken, it was created with the wish spell.
Ooh, that is no small.
Yeah,
no small.
and you
thing.
don't think you something is wrong about its shape, and the crude manner in which it's made.
Yeah. Do I think it was maybe made quickly or accidentally or?
Oh well, the odds of it being made accidentally. Well, I mean, sure, wish spell could be. It wasn't made.
Well,
quick,
right,
I mean,
yeah. That's what I was thinking. A
poofed
wish
into
spell.
existence.
It could be, yeah. Because a poorly worded wish could have produced something like it, I suppose.
I guess anyone who's looking at it can give me a knowledge religion roll.
Okay, I will do that myself too, because I am of the religious kind. You see.
Knowledge Albanian.
Damn Albanians everywhere. Okay. Not terrible. 21.
No, that's pretty good. Anyone higher than a 21? Hugo, by chance? Oh, you're not there. You went to go look at the old lady.
I also got a 21.
Okay. So there is a religion that both of you have heard of in the South. And it is in a current conflict with another religion in the South, right? So one of the big churches down there worships a water serpent, right? It's the serpent of the oasis. And that's a very, very heavily mercantile theology, right? You can't buy your way into the afterlife, but you can pay for upgrades. The opposing religion, and one that rumor has it is probably the more holier, air quotes, religion. The one that that is maybe more just and right and true and beneficial to people if you don't just like money is the symbol for it is a cactus bird, right? The ones that they're also known as a murder bird, right? The ones that will grab creatures and then like spear them on cactuses in order to eat them. This has a rudimentary shape of that bird, but it almost feels corrupted, or you get maybe a feeling of betrayal or something off of it in the magic. But everyone who made that 21 roll, like,
so it's almost as if someone else's holy symbol were taken and repurposed. Perhaps?
Yeah, or
by opposing religion.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to think about it. You could definitely come to that conclusion.
All right. But
what say you, Icarus? Is it
the big things? The DM said. So the things that I'm seeing that is that this thing is, whoever created it knows where it is.
Right. And probably use it for scrying.
That they can spy through it, right? But it's also a planar anchor. In other words, it could prevent someone from leaving this plane or coming in, or it is the anchor to a pathway and allows things to come onto this plane in this location. I see. So it's a kind of key almost. So I kind of pull my hand back away from it and, kind of flex my fingers a bit, shake my hand, and start putting my gear away. I say, as I do, I'm saying, "Where did you find this?"
Sorry, I'll just smile at him. It was in one of the passengers' cabins, but I don't think it belonged to either one of them. Might have been used to spy on one of them.
This is not a pleasant object. It is.
This one questions if this might not be the means by which our invisible canines were boarded.
Yeah. Well, So I'll go through and explain what it does before that. So they'll have the data. But it's certainly possible. This could have drawn them in. And whoever sent them could be watching us. And I look down at it even now. I unceremoniously give it the finger. Just in case they're watching.
I get a little nervous at his suggestion. I'm going to wrap the cloth back around it, so there's something looking out. That's what they'll see.
You get
like
this.
tape over your webcam.
You get this sort of like sick to your gut feeling as you start to wrap it.
Now, do I think
I'm going to immediately drop it on the table? Did you feel that? I tried to wrap it, and it made me unwell. A woman in one of the cabins was unwell.
It's not a pleasant item, as I said. Now, I don't think that they can actually see through it, but it can be something that they can focus on to scry an area. Is that more accurate? I mean, it's not like a planter. It's that they see through. It's more something that they can. Oh, wherever this thing is, we can scry in that area.
You're not 100% sure, but you feel. Yes, that's more right. Like that.
Okay.
That maybe it can see everything within a certain area around this.
Yeah. So, I don't think that'll help. Honestly, I think this is more like an anchor for them, so they can scry within an area. You see, using other magics.
Still, I'm going to take an empty mug off the table and upend it and put it over the rock. Just make me feel better.
That's fine.
Whatever floats your boat. If we really wanted to get rid of it, though, I'd recommend throwing it from the train as quickly as possible. But
I wonder if we should show it to KO first.
yeah,
It was clearly put here for a malevolent purpose, and he did send us to investigate.
well, if he's as strong as he is, people seem to think he is. Maybe he can scry the other way. All right, yeah.
This one questions the wisdom of that. If,
What? Mentioning it to KO?
Does he?
if this device is such that it can draw in, would not this device placed in KO's presence open him to attack?
Perhaps their target has already been slain. Perhaps they've already succeeded in their mission. Well, we have been sent to investigate this this murder, so I think we should show it to him. I'm going to sort of flip the mug back and have the rock in it, like I'm holding it like a cup.
Then this one suggests that when it's presented, we remain on guard.
Caution is always wise.
Yep. So with that, we zip back down the train.
Yep.
And we see Hugo walking up to this this cart where this very, very fretful old man is sitting in there, and he has a rather corpulent wife or lady with him, and you see he is just patting on her hand and kind of whispering to her. Doesn't even really notice you at the door.
Is everything all right?
Oh, he turns. Oh, are you the healer? Oh, I hope you are. Yeah, your friend told me you'd come up here. She's not well, I don't think. No, not well at all.
I enter like to the little cabin or to the room.
Yep.
And try and get a closer look at her, like touch her like skin, her face or her head.
Okay. She is very warm to the touch.
Okay.
Her skin feels very taut. Like it's one size too small for her girth.
Is she sweaty?
She is not.
Is she like
She's breathing heavy.
Does she show any signs of pitting? Like, you know what I mean when I say that? Like if I press on her skin, if I press on like say her legs or her arm, when I pull my fingers or thumbs back, do I leave like an indentation?
So how hard are you pressing?
You don't have to press that hard. Like I'm not pressing to like break any bones or
right. So her skin feels like an overstuffed sausage to you right now.
Okay, so she's definitely mad swole up.
Oh yeah. As you look, you can see like the sleeves of her gown are tight on her arms and tight around her neck.
All right, well then I'll certainly unbuckle or unbutton like her neckline.
Okay.
And feel around her throat. Like does she also feel like swollen in her neck?
Yeah. Yes, but not like in an allergic reaction, but like literally like she is a size too big under her skin.
Did she eat anything? I asked.
She eats everything. No. She.
Is she fat? I mean, is she a big woman or?
I mean, well, I'd never call her that. But
I'm asking you, Steve. Is the woman fat?
Oh yeah, I mean she was rotund to begin with.
Okay, all right.
I can't call her fat. She might hear me.
Right. No, I mean, did she eat anything that she doesn't normally eat, or?
No, she She had breakfast this morning, and nothing else. We were on our way for tea, you see, when all of a sudden she collapsed in the hallway. I just barely drug her back in and had positioned her, well, as comfortably as I could, but these old muscles aren't what they used to be.
Was there anyone else around when she fell?
Oh, not directly. It was just a few moments later that a rather gruff and rough and tumble sort came through, and he made sure she was breathing and went on about his way, said that she'd be fine. He had things to attend to. Do you think she'll be okay? You can see that even in the time you've been in here, she is still swelling. Like, she's not going Violet Beauregard, like she's not turning into a blueberry.
Yeah.
But she's getting fleshier, meatier, grossier. And then in that moment, the pearl necklace she has on just, and the pearls get all over the cabin. Oh dear. You can help her, right? You can help her.
You can walk, yes?
Oh, can run if need be.
I suggest you run down this cabin and find others.
Anyone in specific? He says as he's already starting to move out of the.
Yeah, like I described for him Thargus and
yes.
Icarus.
Yes, the guy with the sea creature.
Yes.
You adventurers! And he just goes running down the train. I mean, running's a relative term, but he's moving quicker than he normally moves.
Okay. While he's gone, I'm gonna check her for any kind of wound or bite mark, and I know she's predominantly clothed.
Right.
So I'll have to
unclothe her.
Yeah, alleviate most of that.
Okay, that's fine. You strip her down to her undergarments. Right? I mean, and it's probably fair, right? You can see the red marks where they were cutting into her anyway.
Right. And I'll use the knife to make quick work of it. That way it's
so you don't notice any bite marks. There's no wounds or cuts. But as you're checking her out, and in a gross checking her out, as you are examining her in a medical way, and you do that thing where you pull her eyes open.
Yeah,
they are pitch black with little white worms swimming around inside of them.
Oh shit! I say out loud.
Back on the other end of the train, in the room where the redheaded guy was, we hear a
I'm moving that way towards the mad laughter.
Okay. You see blood everywhere.
Oh, they're just still right outside that door area, aren't they? They're still.
Yeah. I mean, they're literally like a half a cart away from him.
Yeah.
And yeah, just blood everywhere inside that room. It looks like if you put a fish inside of a blender inside of its fishbowl. And you see this semi-grinning face. It's a grin with very, very defiant eyes of this kid sitting there. And both of his wrists are slashed, but they're slashed for business, not for attention.
Pleasure.
Yeah. And on his left forearm, you can see the slash runs this way, and it bisects these two intertwined black snakes.
I step through, I pop the point on my cane, and I jam it right in his throat.
Okay. Well, more blood comes out. Not as much as one would expect, but let's face it, most of his blood's already.
Yep, but I'm
Now.
trying to end it quicker.
Oh yeah. And he looks past you to Thargus, and he says, "I told you before I died." And then he is done. So back at the other end, this woman, her flesh begins to move
Split.
and split and deform. And before long, instead of her, you're left with this thing.
Dope.
Oh dear. I have trodden Misha's bucket.
And it's about 8 foot tall. Its head brushes the inside of the train, but it's almost 5.5 feet wide.
So how much of this like sleeping
Kill it,
cabin
kill
does
it.
it take out?
Oh, it blows out the side wall as it does this.
Okay.
Now,
Now is it like a rapid transmogrification? Like
no, it probably takes maybe 15 seconds.
okay, it's still pretty quick.
Well, I mean, it's not like in there.
Yeah. No, I just mean like I'm kneeling down next to her body and like it begins to split open.
Can I
and
chop its head off before it changes?
No. Like for proper dramatic effect, like I stand back, like
Right.
I have the dagger out, right?
And it's kind of, you see like her undergarments burst, right?
Right.
And where her breasts would have been, they stay as large as they are on her, but this black metal chest piece emerges between them.
Betwixt.
And as this thing starts to and move a bit,
Just to be clear, it doesn't have the sword, right?
it does not have the sword.
All right.
It does not have the sword. It sinks these. It's only got 3 fingers and a thumb per hand. It sinks like its meaty thumb and fingers into one of the chairs and just like rips through it as it tries to get its big butt up. And it's struggling. But its size has broken parts of the room, right? There is this horrendous sulfuric smell that comes with it, but also the smell of just being unbathed, right? It smells horrendous. Like it smells dirty, sweaty, sickly.
Ow.
And it kind of like boots in your general direction as its roly-poly tries to stand to its feet. It is prone. You can do anything you want to it at this moment. My wife brought me a drink, but she already drank out of it.
Check it for a smell of like almonds or something, just to be sure, Ooh, it's new almond Coke. I love this.
Smells like Old Lake. Weird.
Is it safe to assume that we've had like the equivalent of a short rest?
Yes, most definitely. You guys. Yes, short rest is very easy.
All right. I might need to recover some hit die, but there's some hit points. Man.
We can still see your screen, Steve. Just FYI.
Yeah,
That's not my screen.
This is my screen. It's my character.
Oh, is it yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my character sheet looks like it has a lot more hit points than that.
Yeah, probably.
You can blame this on Rob. Rob was one that told me that it changes the game when you have more encounters per long rest. So,
Which Rob?
It really is the way the game is designed. Otherwise, casters can just alpha streak.
Yeah, no, I agree. You should have more encounters per long rest. Otherwise, people are just like fucking regenerating Wolverine style.
yeah. So, as you're looking at this thing, it doesn't have the spiky arm bits, right? But it does have the shoulder plate. It does have the chest. It does have like the hoof plates.
Yeah.
And outside of the chest piece, the rest of it look like they're carved rock, like they're carved stone.
Yeah, I cast protection from good and evil on myself.
Okay. It actually hisses at the sound of that spell going off.
Okay. And is there anyone else? Do I know if there's anyone else down here? Like any other quote unquote civilians?
You know that not this car. This car is empty, but the next one up has people in it. Like the next one going towards the cargo.
Okay.
And then the next one up the other direction is where the three teenagers were.
Okay, and so that's presumably where the old man and everybody else is at as well, right?
They're 3 carts up. Like all your companions are 3 carts that direction, like up towards the engine. Because it would have been the food car, then it would have been your car, then it would have been the kid's car, then it would have been this car.
Okay, yeah, I thought when we never mind, it's fine. I don't know. Now I'm confused, but it's all right. I will.
So everyone had moved their stuff to the dining car, right?
Yeah, no, but I thought when we came out of the kids' room, we ran into Wolfram and Durr, and then
right. So the where you were talking to the kids, the brother sister were in separate private booths in the dining car.
Okay.
The redheaded guy was in the car, the first part of the car, the next car up. Right, it was the only other room they had to secure him in.
Okay. Yeah. I know he was in a different car, and that's the car we were in when I came here, which is what I.
Right. So then, yes, you would only be 2 cars away from that room, presumably then. And if everyone else is rushed to go see the explosion of blood, then you're only 2 cars away from.
Okay, and then the car, the other direction is there's people, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then yeah, like I'll be backing up, and I'll be saying this prayer, this benediction to Core as I cast the spell on myself, and I'll be trying to position myself between the car that has, again, the quote unquote civilians in it and this thing. So I'll be moving the other way from which they're coming, like the rest of the party, if you will.
Okay, so you're basically you between it and the civilians, and then it between you and your friends if they're coming towards you.
Yeah, so like here we are in the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Friends are over here.
Yep.
Civilians are over here.
Yep.
Me and this demon are here.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be on this side between the civilians and the demon.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
And they're free to come this way if they want. Yeah, and I don't know, like I'd take a swing at this thing, I guess. Like if it gets close,
Well, all it has to really do is like stand up to be kind of close to you. So go ahead and take your swing at it.
All right.
You would normally be at disadvantage for striking a prone target, but this thing doesn't really matter. It's almost as tall as someone.
Okay.
Back.
I rolled a 17 plus 5, 22.
You what?
22. Oh, you said I hit. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said you what?
No. You hit.
So 6 points of damage.
All right. Give me your note card. All right, cool. I mean, you strike and it's. I mean, I would imagine it's like hitting like one of the big fat professional wrestlers, right? Like there's muscle under there, but there's some fatness to it too. It continues to stand up. Like it takes its full round to be able to get itself up and situated. And you see that it turns this little pig snout up and it ignores you and it turns and starts moving its girthy frame up towards the front of the car. And as it can't get past walls, it pushes on them and moves some of them, like breaks part of the wall. I mean, it's not impossibly strong, so it's not like busting out like the sides of the tray with a punch, but it crushes some of the wall and it as it kind of moves its frame sideways a bit to get through these things. And it gets to the door and it just like hammer fists the door and the door falls and it proceeds to try and pull itself like out onto the platform in between the two cars.
Yeah, when it moves, when it begins to like come out of the room, I look, pretty nervous, obviously, because I'm wearing like just some shitty torn robe and I have a dagger in my hand, and I'm all out of spells. So I'm like, oh fuck. But then like as it like turns and goes the other direction, like there's this visible like sigh of relief like that comes over me, as I don't have to die here in this car just yet. But I will follow it like as it begins to destroy its way out of here.
Okay.
Now, during this, has the old man come to us at all at this point? Or
yes, yeah. He's made it up to you guys. Well, he's made it up to the bloody car, right?
Yeah.
And he looks at it. I don't know which is worse. And he looks and he sees.
I'm sure this is as worse as it's gonna get. Don't worry.
He sees Dirtirog. Your companion told me to run, and he looks back, and I haven't run far enough, and he goes right past you guys.
Oh, that's a hell of a thing.
And yeah, you see outside, like 3/4 of a car plus a bit of a platform away from you. This hulking monstrosity. It's about 8 feet tall, about 5 feet wide. No sword, no spiky arm bits, but everything else is there. It has bits of a woman's dress like strewn about it in places. You can see it sniffing the air and moving towards you. It gets to the little bridge that crosses the two between the two carts, and it hesitates a moment as well. This thing's only 3 feet wide, and well, it's not. It almost like it's trying to. You guys ever seen that thing where a dog grabs a stick and tries to run through a door, but the stick's too big?
Yeah.
That look of confusion on the dog's face. That's what this thing's doing at the moment. It can't quite process.
I'm gonna take advantage of its slight delay to sling my shield off my back and take my hammer at my side, and I think about how far away is it? It shouldn't be too far away, right?
Oh, 20 feet.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna take my hammer and I slam it into the back of my shield, heading towards it, and this gong sort of comes out of it, that reverberates through the cabin, through the metal door, and into this thing.
Okay.
Toll of the Dead.
The spell's called Toll of the Dead.
Toll of the Dead, yes. Hang on, let me look it up. I think it's a save on its part. I guess it's a her still, so I guess save on her part.
Sure.
I'm just double checking. There we are. Yeah, wisdom save.
Okay. Does a 4 do it?
No.
Sure.
I don't even have to check that.
All right.
So it takes now it hasn't taken any damage yet, correct?
Taking 6 points of damage.
Oh, it has? Okay, cool. Because if it's taken any damage, it takes a bit more of damage from me. So that's awesome. I will. It takes 10 points of necrotic damage.
10 points of necrotic damage?
Yeah.
Okay. You see absolutely no effect.
Awesome. Got its attention at least.
Oh, yeah. You definitely did. And then you see this creepy, like, toothy grin turn into half of a smile. And you see its meaty paw stick up in the air, and it points in your direction, but a bit past you.
I just kind of like, talk loudly over my shoulder. Gentlemen, I think we have a situation here.
Behind you, you hear oh. Yes, you do. We do. And KO is standing behind you-ish. Mm.
I'm assuming this isn't a guest, and I have permission to, shall we say, escort her from the train.
Oh, by all means. Oh. A moment, though. And you see he reaches into a pocket. He pulls out this small emerald orb, and he looks through it and utters something in a language that you're not 100% sure what it is. Well, I don't know. Do you speak Draconic?
Let me double check. No.
Okay. So he says something, and everyone on this side will get 9 temporary hit points. An advantage on your next save or attack.
Is that just our little group here?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
So 9 extra hit points. Cool.
Yep. And I'm going to go have a discussion with the conductor. A very brief, poignant discussion. I'll return. And he goes up towards the front.
No.
He is helping.
Yeah, I gotta go have a discussion.
He's helping, okay? All right. Let's go ahead and get an initiative order real quick.
Yeah. All right.
Also, I downloaded this handy initiative app.
Let's see.
Ow.
8.
15 for Icarus.
All right. So we have Icarus.
Ooh, looks like Thargus is going to charge in there. Nice. Very brave of you, sir.
If someone can throw me a blade, that'd be awesome.
No.
Anybody?
I don't do blades.
Anyone?
I do blunt objects. Would
Dirdirog, what's your... All right, there we go.
you like a blunt?
So...
I'll take anything.
I actually do have a small throwing hammer on my set. I could give you if you're really pressed for weaponry.
Hey, gotta use what you gotta use.
Amongst our weaponry is surprise, fear, and surprise. Two weapons.
All right, so So as this initial scene settles in, Thargus, you have the fastest reaction to it.
Sweet. That,
Uh,
that means I have
Vargas, I hand you a short sword.
Oh,
It's a little unusual, but it's a short sword. It's got 3 edges. It's a
okay.
triangle blade.
If you looked at it from the directly
Yeah.
at the point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those that's supposed to make a wound you can't close type of thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's nasty. Oh, great! I grab it and kind of give it a look, and then I turn it around and kind of hold it like in my hand, like Wolfram was holding his blade. And
Okay.
all right, now is the boy in the room? Like, okay, Durdarog put him out of his misery, but is his body still moving?
No, he's very, very much not moving.
Oh, okay. I thought there was like, is there anything coming out of his body? Like was he? I mean, he seemed kind of possessed of sorts.
No. And
Okay.
I can put something else in this encounter if you want, but at the moment,
Let's see. Roll for added difficulties.
Great.
Nope. Okay. No. Okay. All right. I grab the blade and hold it like flip it back and forth in my hands, kind of like thinking like, what the hell am I going to do? What the hell am I going to do? And I just I swallow down my fear and I want to charge this thing and try to slice it.
all right, go for it.
I'm able to make a bonus. I mean, I'm able to do something as a bonus action.
Okay.
I can make an insight versus a deception check. And if I succeed, I'm able to use a sneak attack on one creature for a minute, as long as I don't have any disadvantage.
So it makes an insight versus your deception, right?
Opposite. I make an insight check, and then they make a deception check.
What is it? Why are they deceiving you to make a?
It's I think it's based around like I'm looking at their motions, and then
All right, works for me. Sold me.
That's the way they have it set up, but it's like
All right, so I rolled my die. I will subtract 6 off of it, and I have my number.
Oh, all right.
13. You're looking for a 13.
All right. I beat it. 25. Sweet.
Well, yeah. So the insight you also gain from this is this thing is very single-minded. You have a feeling it's going to move through you all to get to its target.
Oh wow. Okay. I kind of like I'm looking at it move, you know, like as it's like walking and trying to push through, and then I kind of can see my like lips moving as I'm counting, and I'm like 1, 2. I'm counting its step, and then I'm gonna like try to slice at it.
Okay.
And don't get hit, please don't hit me. I roll a 1.
All right. Well, at this juncture, we won't say you fall from the train, but oh yeah. So you
Insert Wilhelm scream here.
You slice at it, and as you do, it almost annoyingly just bats your blade up a bit.
Okay.
After your turn is Icarus.
Damn
No,
it.
I'm lying. It's Durdarog.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Vicious mockery.
Okay.
And I thought the last one was ugly.
And it makes a wisdom save, is that right?
Makes a wisdom save.
Oh, good. It rolled a natural 20.
Oh,
-6 is 14.
Yeah. And spell DC on me is 14.
Okay. I think it goes to the attacker. And if it doesn't, it does now. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Right dice, Stephen. Oh,
I'm using the right dice. That's why I rolled a 20.
no, this Stephen, not that Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
1 point of psychic damage and disadvantage on its next attack.
All right. So you see it, one of his meaty hands come up and like pound its head. And then it decides like, okay, screw it, I'm moving forward. But hey, Chris, it's your turn.
All right, yeah. So I'll step forward. I'll step forward into the room, and I immediately sort of begin like.
Well, this isn't in the room. This is literally on the 2 platforms and little bridge that connect 2 different
okay,
trains.
yeah. So okay, so I'll move up and step out into there then, and again, my eyes are kind of flicking quickly to its various points, and I kind of decide that I'm gonna go that the knees are probably the best place to bring this thing down, at least prevent it moving more. So I take my hammer.
No, it's not.
And I can't see. 18 total.
You hit.
All right. And I 8 points of damage.
What type of damage?
Bludgeoning.
So as your blow lands,
Magic. It's magical too, by the way. Just FYI.
Okay.
It's
So
magic
you feel the blubberiness of this thing,
Yeah.
and had your weapon not been magical, it wouldn't have hurt, or it would have hurt much less.
Right. Yeah. So.
And it lands with that sort of sickening sound, and it still looks pressed beyond you, even though you're there, right?
Okay.
Like it doesn't. It knows you're there. It's aware of it, but
Yep.
you haven't interrupted its objective yet. Wolfram.
All right, so seeing as how it's determined to get to a victim, I'm going to rush at it, and I'm also going to attack its kneecap. Like at the last second, I'll kind of drop low and swing at it. But I don't have a magic weapon, just so you know.
That's fine.
I got a 16. Let me just double check. I think it's... No, I'm wrong. It's 18.
18 hits.
Okay, so I'm going to get my sneak attack. Not bad. So I did 16 points of damage, but as I said, it's not magical.
Right, but it's slashing or piercing, right?
Yeah, it's a short sword. It's
Yep,
GN,
no problems.
actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I stab into the side of its knee. I'm trying to, weaken a leg to make it.
So you get this. You get this
slow it.
fingernail on chalkboard sound as your blade slides across this stone sort of knee covering. And then it finds purchase in this meatiness. And as you pull out your blade so it doesn't become stuck, because you feel like almost like the fat and muscle of this thing is sucking your blade in. As you pull back out, you can see these tendril-like maggots that are just like fishing out of the wisping out of the wound.
Okay, I'm going to disengage as a bonus action and just drop back 5 feet.
Okay. All right. Hugo, you're on the other side of it.
I will. Is somebody snoring?
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to ask you if it was your dog, but I think it was at Alex's. Anyway,
I thought it might have been my dog, actually.
Yeah, it was.
But it's not. It's not my dog.
all right. So what you doing?
Yeah. So.
That's the dog. That's my wife.
Right. I want to. Fuck, man. I guess I'm gonna stab this thing in its back. I mean, I don't have much else of a choice.
Sure.
There's something else I can really do to try and slow it down. I don't have anything with me except for this dagger. So,
You don't have any warlock cantrips left?
I mean, I do. Like, I got Eldritch Blast. I just don't like relying on it so much. Like,
Well, that's fine. I mean, you can stab. I don't care.
I don't like spamming it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I do have green flame blade, so I'll use that in conjunction with trying to stab this thing.
Okay.
Is there so like it's completely unconcerned with me. It's partially, wedged in here, right, and like blocked by the people in front of it. Is there any
Yeah,
way I
so
can do-
it's basically moved its massive form out and is standing on the edge of that platform, and has put one meaty foot forward onto the little connector bridge between the two carts.
Mhm.
And it's more or less that leg that everybody has been running up and stabbing and moving away.
Okay. Then yeah, I mean, I'll try and like hamstring it from behind.
All right.
With the Scream Flame Blade. Is there any way I can get advantage in this dice roll, being that the situation that we're in?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna lobby for it.
And don't forget, all of you have advantage on an attack or a saving throw from KO spell.
Good to know.
All right. 15 to hit.
15 will hit it.
Okay. And then that plus that. 13 points of damage.
All right. So as you slash into it, and I know that the green flame blade leaps to another target within 5 feet, right? So
Yeah, and
you
it
see it pop off, and it just roasts these like tendril maggots that are popping out of its leg. They pop and fry with this sort of disgusting like sort of zit popping noise, and it howls a bit. Its poor legs, and then you see it lifts up its massive right foot and just brings it like slamming down onto this platform, and all of you within 15 feet of it, which should be everybody at the moment, can give me a dexterity saving throw.
How sturdy does this platform look?
I mean, it's made out of iron and or magic.
Iron and or magic. So probably pretty good, right?
Probably pretty good.
I got a natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh,
I got a 12.
Yeah, me too. 20.
Okay.
Nice.
I got a 4.
Okay.
How many dozens of hit points do I take?
21.
Okay. So everyone except for Hugo makes it. You guys are not knocked prone. You will take 10 points of damage. And the rest of you, Hugo, you are knocked prone and take 10 points of damage.
Nice.
So as it slams its meaty foot down, you can hear this stone on metal clang, and the train feels like it lurches for a moment, right? It's not used to that amount of impact, and there is this cacophonous wave as you see the dust and stuff from the Badlands that have settled onto parts of the train that haven't been blown away by the wind yet lift off and are blown back as you can literally see the force of this stomp come out. And then it moves at this point another 5 feet forward as it wedges itself along this this narrow platform. Thargus.
Just to be clear, those of us who made our saves took damage too?
Correct. It is so this lair attack is damage. The save is to not be knocked prone.
Gotcha.
I
You know you had disadvantage on that attack, right?
No, you have. I don't have disadvantage on the attack.
Vicious mockery.
Oh, I don't. But it's not an attack. It's a save.
Yeah, it's it's
Okay.
an attack thing.
So
but-
yeah.
I kind of look at my footing and
But you actually had advantage on the save if you wanted to reroll, not be prone, Ken.
that's true.
Oh no, you don't, because you weren't there for the freaking blessing.
No, I wasn't there, and protection from good and evil only gives it disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Yeah.
So I'm jacked, but it's all right.
All right.
All right.
All right, Targus.
All right, I'm gonna switch the blade around in my hand, kind of hold it similar to how Durdarog is holding his weapon, and try to slide in using a technique that Wolfram did.
So you're gonna grip the this short sword daggery thing like it's a short spear. Got it.
Yep.
No problems.
Yep.
Choke up on it and ram it in there.
And I'm going to use the blessing of sorts to try to get advantage on the attack.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
All right. It's a 18 plus.
It hits.
All right. Short sword. And there. 1, 2, 3, 6. 10, 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then take a movement. And I'm going to move back away from it, the way Wolfram did, and kind of back 5 feet away from it.
Sure.
He
So
was really cool.
on the side opposite Hugo, everyone seems to be darting into this platform, stabbing at this thing, and then moving away. Got it. Durdarog.
Yeah, essentially the same actions, just slip forward, stick it and back out of position. Bonus action, I'm going to do inspiration
Okay.
on Icarus.
All right.
Just a rule clarification here. I was able to do that because I can disengage as a bonus action. The
Correct.
players can also do that, but they should be provoking an OA.
Mhm.
Yes. And they
When you move back, you provoke an OA unless you disengage, which is an action. But rogues
You-
can disengage as a bonus action.
you are
Right.
you are 100% correct.
I am a rogue, so
Yep.
I'm just saying that I'm copying Wolfram because I'm like stealing a technique basically, but I'm a rogue, so I have the ability to engage, dash or disengage or hide as a bonus action.
Right. And Icarus hasn't attempted to disengage, so this would actually be the first person that's attempting it that would provoke.
Because I don't get that for one more level.
That's awesome.
2 clerics, 2 rogues, and a monk walk into a bar. All right.
I missed.
You missed?
Yeah.
All right. It swings at you though. 14 to hit you.
I get for not having these things memorized. No, misses.
Okay. So it slams a meaty fist, whiffs you, and you can see that as it slams down and it misses you, it kind of takes this thing off kilter a little bit as the fist comes down to the right side of this platform. Wolfram. No, Icarus.
Okay.
Bardic
Yeah, so-
inspiration.
Yeah, you have inspiration.
Oh, awesome. So I'm looking. I'm also I'm also looking at this platform and seeing the stress that's been done to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think there's a chance that again I'm having trouble visualizing what this platform looks like. Does it look like it's been weakened to the point where it could be like completely broken, or is it basically I'm seeing I'm trying as someone who knows something about engineering, I'm trying to kind of calculate if I could damage this thing enough to send him off the edge of the train, basically.
So has it been damaged? Sure. Has it been damaged enough to break? You don't think so? Not yet.
Right. Well, no, I figured that, but I mean, I didn't know if again, looking at it with a mechanical eye, if I thought I could damage it enough to get to send this thing toppling.
You think that yes, with enough stress, you could probably break this. However, it would disconnect the cars.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to do that. All right.
The thing.
So I kind of go through that in just a kind of a split second while I'm sort of looking at this thing.
You think maybe maybe taking out the railing that is between the two cars, right? So you have like that little bridge that crosses over between the two cars. Maybe if you take that railing out, you could dislodge this thing from the train. I mean, that seemed to be effective earlier.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm going for the railing.
What are you using?
Use my hammer.
Okay.
And so I kind of step off to the side behind my shield, and I go swing as if to swing at it, but I deliberately miss. I know where I put my hammer, and I'm gonna connect with the thing. Natural 20. I should have hit him. Oh well.
All right, so you crit this railing. Go ahead.
Yeah, apparently.
2 damage.
So, hey, metal's metal's my jam. I know about metal. I don't know about gargantuan demon things. So, go with my strengths.
What's the damage?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Remember you critted.
Yeah. Yep. 13.
Okay. All right. And you see one of the 3 posts that hold this railing, and it snaps. 13 points of damage straight to it. It breaks.
Okay. Ting goes spinning off and clanking on the ground as it lands.
Wolfram.
How near is he to this somewhat broken railing?
He's kind of like squeezed himself onto it. So let me see here. If I do back of the car. All right, so you have this railing that goes in. So car 1, car 2, right? And then you have this path that goes in between it. Not to scale, obviously. This guy he is literally filling up this much of this thing as he tries to go through it. So no matter where he is on this platform, he's near that broken rail. So each side of this has, a rail that holds or a pole that holds the railing up.
Yeah. This thing's pretty heavy. I imagine if he falls against it, it's probably not going to support his weight. So in sporting terms, I'm going to go for the assist. I'm going to cast a Ray of Frost right at the ground he's standing on.
Okay.
So I guess it ices up. Going to roll some frost damage to the platform. I'm not really trying to damage it, just make it slippery.
It doesn't say it does that, but I like the use of the spell, so that's fine. So it ices up. You can see the frost build up over the other two poles.
That's
I'm
good because
assuming-
that actually can make the metal more brittle too.
Right. I'm assuming that was the theory. This thing isn't moving well nor quickly, so you don't see any slippage, but you do see the frosty railings.
Yeah, as I say, I'm going for an assist.
Sure. After Wolfram is Hugo. So you see one of the poles of this rail go flying off. You hear the as it goes, 45 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour now, that direction. And then you see the platform sort of ice over after you hear a quick incantation from what sounds like Wolfram. And otherwise, you see this corpulent thing squeezing across this railing or this platform.
Okay.
Yeah, and you do not have a pleasant view at the moment, I'm guessing.
Right. All backside all the time. I'm going to I'm gonna pick myself up off the ground and run as far back on the car in the car as I can.
Okay.
And then get a full steam and missile drop kick this thing in the leg.
So here's the thing. Standing up takes movement. Moving into the car takes movement. So that's fine.
Yeah.
I like the description. I like the scene. So I'm willing to give you the missile drop kick this round at disadvantage. Or you can charge in next round and not be at disadvantage. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I mean, let's go for it, man. What's the worst thing? Right. Throw myself off this train car? get run over by a train? All right.
What are the odds?
Yeah, what are the odds? So a 12 is my lowest roll. 12 and a 17 is what I rolled.
Okay,
so that's actually 15 or 17 to hit.
You hit him.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess I'm proficient in armed combat, right? I'm a paladin. So yeah, 17 to hit. Cool. I don't. But
so here's the crap part. You're not a monk, so it does 1 point of damage plus your strength modifier.
So 4. Take that.
So it's blunt damage, so it takes half of that.
Yeah.
As you into this, the backside of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I will give it a reflex save or dex save at disadvantage off that to see if it falls. And I roll a 1 and a 4. So a 1 minus 4 is and a 4 minus 4 is So this thing, it very cartoonishly, it does that, and you see it just boom. And whereas everything else that's come flying off this train has this thing goes and just kind of, momentum was just gone. And the train continues up. And then if everyone can give me a reflex save or a dex save, please.
Is this thing gonna jackknife this train as it runs over it?
No. It falls off.
Okay.
Oh no.
23.
Just
43?
all die.
23.
Oh, jeez.
8. 8 for Icarus.
Okay.
10.
Okay. Anyone else? I can't hear you guys. Anyone else roll below an 8? I'm a 10.
No, 22. Sweet.
Okay. Dirtirog?
9.
Okay. So, Icarus, you go flying off this side of the train.
Well, actually, you know what? I haven't used my advantage on that
Okay.
that I was given. I'm gonna use that because I don't want to go off the train.
Seems like a good time to use it.
It is a good time to use it. Natural 20 on the other one.
All right, so yeah, you're fine. So you go off the train, grab back onto the not broken railing, and fling yourself back onto the train.
Daredevil style.
Dirtirog.
Yeah, okay.
And it looks like I meant to do that.
And I rolled 4 twice with it on a roll of advantage.
So you go off the same side of the train as the monster did. As the train's wheels lock, and you hear, and about 65 feet up, it stops, which is impressive stopping range for a train moving at 60 miles an hour, by the way. That should be almost like a mile. But you hit the ground. You take 3 points of damage from hitting the ground. And you're laying roughly 60 feet from this ogre thing that now is standing up. And all you see as you kind of do that, like sit up to see what's going on, is this huge form barreling towards you at its massive top speed of 20.
It's going faster when it left the tree.
Yeah, it was going much faster that way.
Come on, get on the train and let's get it started. Let's get out of here. Come on, Butch Cassidy it. Come on. No.
Half movement to get up.
Yep.
That's 20.
You're a monk. Come on.
I know. My movement is 40, so half movement to get up, and if I'm dashing, taking a full action, that takes me up to 80. So half 40, and I still can outrun this son of a gun.
All right, that's fine.
Right to the first rail I can grab.
Lead it away from the train. Lead it away from the
get
train.
up
Back
onto the
with
train.
you. If I lead it away from the train, I'm going away from the train.
I can live with that.
You get to the train, and your hands are you're clambering up. And about that time, a winded Ko Titani, I got him to stop the train. It'd be a lot easier to. And this thing is just, and it shoulders the train as it comes near, and the train goes.
Can I chuck a spell at it?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna hit it with another ray of frost.
Okay.
13, I think. 13.
13 hits it. AC is 9, by the way.
Oh, okay, excellent. So it takes a whopping 6 points of cold damage, and it's slowed.
Okay, so it slows to 10 feet around. This thing is so fast. But it's leaving small like craters where its feet are hitting.
Yeah.
And every step it just shoulders a train, and the train rocks a bit.
Maybe you should start this train up again. I'm thinking.
Get back to the front and tell them.
KO looks at you. I don't think we have time for that. And he jumps off the train and squares up with this thing.
I've done my part.
Are we still in the same initiative
Yeah,
order at this point?
Fargus.
Okay.
If KO jumps off the train, I'm going with him.
That's fine. He still looks cooler than you do when he lands.
So I'm going to jump down and reposition the weapon like Hugo had his. I saw him use that blade against those evil hounds or something, and I'm going to hold it straight out. And I know the blade's smaller than his blade, but whatever. And I'm going to attempt to do a run by, slash at its arm, like under its armpit, and keep on moving past it.
All right, so you're running towards it. Go for it.
So I'm gonna attack and regular roll. 13 plus 4, 17.
You hit.
Okay. Since I know how it moves, I get the sneak attack damage. Kind of. And 5. That's 18 minus whatever its defense is.
No.
It's a non magical weapon.
Right.
Or
Okay.
attack. And then I disengage, moving past it. So
right.
run, strike, pass. like, yes.
All right.
Father would be proud. Maybe.
Right. Okay. After your turn, it is Durdarog.
How close is he?
65 minus 20 minus 10, 35 feet away.
Okay. Vicious Mockery is a cantrip. I blast
Yeah.
him again.
All right.
Wisdom save on a 14.
Let's go for this. I roll a 7.
You need a witty one-liner,
Is a
man.
1. All right. So again, it like just it slaps its head and then just rails against the train. But it's still moving towards you.
Yeah, I know. And it only took 1 point of psychic damage with that.
Okay.
Is it going after?
The bloody guy with the cut arms.
We'll see.
The kid?
All right.
Or
Icarus.
the other 2 kids that we sent out of the way.
Okay. So I'm kind of grumbling under my breath, like perfectly serviceable plan. Return the throwing of the train now. Now we're stopped. We're gonna fuck the fucking thing. God damn it, son of a bitch. And as I'm doing that, I'm pulling out of this kind of pouch on my side. This would look like a bunch of metal sort of bolted together, and I quickly snap it open, and you see a crossbow, and I'm locking it in place. It's gonna take my action to do that. So,
all right.
But I'm able to knock a bolt and I get it and it's ready to go next round.
Sounds good. Wolfram.
Well, I'm gonna huck a dagger at it.
All right.
It's not. I get a hit easily.
Yes.
There's a lot of people bigger than I smacking on it. They can continue to do so. I got 12 points of damage. That's not magical though.
Right. That's fine. All right. Hugo.
Rather in a very similar disgruntled fashion to Icarus, I like sigh heavily and I'm pretty wounded at this point, so I like gingerly climb down the outside of this train, and I approach this thing warily with the dagger in hand, and I'll move to engage it, like sort of trying to position myself nearest to KO as I can without like getting in his way or him getting in mine.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use green flame blade again.
All right.
So that'll hit.
Yep.
And that'll do 9 points of damage.
So it bellows again, and kind of swats in your direction. But you see, it's fixated on exactly one person in your group, and it starts moving towards him. And as it does, you hear this what sounds to everyone else like chanting, like guttural chanting. But Hugo, you recognize it as a prayer in Abyssal.
Okay.
And as it finishes, you see these like the meaty like paws of this thing take on this, if black could be a light, right? Like this sickening black glow to them as it raises up its fist and brings them down on the head of KO. So 14 plus 11 is 25. So it hits, and there's this that resounds out, and you hear this glass shattering sound as you see this sort of crystalline blue energy around KO just shatter.
Disadvantage on the attack. Vicious mockery.
Great. So it rolled a 14 and a 14, so it's still 25. But you see this like shattering blue crystalline stuff come off of KO, and for the first time you see a very concerned look on his face as this thing stands like just the energy's gone. You can tell that was a holy smite, essentially. As this thing is just standing right in front of him. And that takes us to Thargus.
All right. Having seen what it did to KO, I'm going to I can strike it again, but these guys need to be able to okay. I'm going to see if you'll let me go for this. I'm going to remove my jerkin, my bloodied outer jacket.
You're already bare-chested.
Yeah. I thought. Oh, okay.
I don't remember you putting back on dress. Maybe you did. If you got dressed, you got dressed. I don't care. But last I remember, you stripped down to your waist when you were at the back. But yeah, all right. So you take off your jerkin, like your house coat.
I want to come up from behind it and try to jump up on its shoulders and throw it over its face. So I want to blind it so the other guys get a chance to hit it to
sure
take it down or knock it down or something.
So I guess that would be a grapple.
Yeah, like I want to give it like a little
because you see like you can grapple its eyes. So
right, that's fine.
If that makes yeah. Like I basically wanted to like keep it occupied or blinded or something.
So no problem. So you roll a grapple. As long as you beat a 9, you will successfully have like blindfolded this thing. However, on its turn, it becomes a contest of strength.
Yes. Okay.
Foreshadowing. You're probably going to lose that.
Yeah, but maybe they'll do something. Okay, I rolled a 16.
You're good. All right, so you get behind it. You've got your jacket off, and you run. You put your foot onto its ankle, and you leap. This sort of jacket in the air, and everyone's wondering what the is he doing? And then you land, and you draw the jacket back, right? So now it's tight across its face, like you're using it like reins across its eyes, and are sitting on this smelly, sweaty, disgusting thing. Its skin is also about 140 degrees. Like it's warm. Not enough to cause damage, but
yeah. But I have no means of being able to hold on to it. I'm probably getting thrown around like a rag doll just from it walking. But
all right,
guys, hit it.
So Dirtirog, Icarus, Wolfram, Hugo, and KO will all have advantage on their next attack against it.
Sweet.
So, Dirtirog, it is your turn. You see this, perhaps a kindred spirit up there in this insanity-style fighting.
Okay, step in with the short spear, stab, and then launch, spend a key point, and hit it twice more.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Okay, so that's a crit.
Nice.
All right, second. Let me just go ahead and roll the other 2 attacks.
That's fine.
12 plus.
That hits. This thing's not hard to hit.
And 15 plus.
Okay.
So die 6 is the crit. 6 double to 12, add 5 is 17 on the first hit.
Okay. That's the spear, right?
That's the spear.
Okay.
and the others are going to be blunt because they're
Right, and non-magical, but you're not high enough level yet.
right. They're fist and feet.
Go for it.
2 plus 5 is 7.
Okay.
And 1 plus 5 is 6.
Got it. So you stab into it again. You feel almost like your spear is being sucked up into its gut. And as you pull it out again, these wispy maggot worm things, like a tapeworm, right? Like it's got that sort of like sucker mouth to it, like are coming out of it. They're not any bigger around than a pencil, but still disgusting. And the odor is unbearable at this point. And you're not sure if it's it or if Thargus crapped his pants when he got out there and realized what was about to happen. Icarus.
All right. So I kind of dropped to one knee, aim my crossbow, and with advantage, you said, which is good because I rolled a 1. Okay, that's much better. 15. Yeah, so hit. And it takes 9 points of 9 points of piercing damage.
Got it.
So immediately another bolt goes in, pull back, locked, ready for the next shot.
Wolfram.
All right, well, I'm out of daggers to throw, so I'm going to leap over the railing and come up to this thing and go for its weakened knee.
Okay.
I got a 19 and an 18. So
Both hit.
Stabby stab. 13 points of damage. Again, not magical.
Okay, so it again. Oh no, it's not magical, so it does not bellow. But you feel the flesh rend as you drive your short sword into it.
So again, I'll disengage and give the fighters space.
Okay. Hugo.
Yeah, I mean this green flame belly, this cantrip seems to be
What you're doing?
well, it seems to be pretty effective against it, right? Like
It does. At the very least, like you've noticed that second strike has been attacking these worm things. So that's kind of brought to your mind that perhaps if they're not dealt with, that they might also cause a problem.
and they're like little lampreys, you said, right? Like little. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and same old. You said with advantage, right? So
Yes.
17 hits, and 9 points of damage.
All right. So it howls as the magic damage courses through it, and again the flame leaps off and it clears up the worm-like protrusions coming from its gut.
Pretty gross.
The KO, who has a slightly shocked look on his face, steps away from this thing, and does so in a manner that he's taking his turn to disengage. Right, he's not trying to get punched in the face by this thing. So on its round, it reaches up onto its back and grabs a hold of Thargus. You can give me your strength roll if you want. Your DC is 30.
A total of 9.
Okay, so it grabs you and it pulls you in front of itself. And it's got you by the back of its head, and it's not like wrapped around your head, but it's like a basketball player holding a basketball, right? Like it's got that much. You can palm your head, and it looks at you and it brings you close and goes. Are you a spellcaster?
Absolutely not.
Okay, it just hurls you at the train. I mean, yes, I am.
Let me roll for bloodstain. Hold on, let me see.
No, it's not that bad because unfortunately you're an improvised weapon, and so is a train.
Okay.
So you're only going to take 8 points of damage in total.
Only. All right. Well, okay.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's okay.
So it's not blood stain; it's just broken bones.
Uh,
That takes us back around to Thargus. As you,
I shake my head, just like stars in my head, and I'm going to crawl away.
yeah, like up underneath the train.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
And
Lick your wounds.
I suppose you could call it a defensive retreat, but I'm scared.
Right. Is
Mommy.
yeah.
So I'm taking this opportunity to dodge.
Right. Is fetal considered a defensive position? Because all right.
Yeah.
Icarus. No, Durdarog. I wrote you guys down wrong, put an arrow, and I just don't pay attention to the arrow, unfortunately. So Durdarog. What you got going on? You're muted.
You muted.
Why? Because you clicked the button, or someone else did.
No, I did. I'm gonna step in and jab again.
Okay.
Only I'm going for that knee that was injured prior.
Okay. Seems to be a fan favorite.
11.
It hits.
Doesn't do much more than that. Seven.
Oh, that's with the spear?
Yep.
Okay. So again, you sink into it, and as you pull back, there are those
Slimy
tendril
worms.
tendril looking things.
And that's about it at this point. I get a bonus attack as a monk, just without spending a key point. So why not? I'll go ahead and take another swing at him. Not that it does anything. 10. I hit again.
Okay.
And this is the blunt non-magical.
Right.
No, that doesn't help. You throw him on the floor, boy. 4 plus 3 is 7.
Okay. Jeez, so close. All right. So Icarus.
Yeah, so I've already loaded another bolt, loose another one. Chink. Still mumbling about stopping the friggin' train. 19 hit. So and nice 7. It takes 9.
Takes 9.
Yep.
Got it.
Chink.
Okay.
Another bolt.
Yeah, so the bolt, next time you see it, it hits like up underneath that I don't want to call it pectoral muscle, but his man boobs.
Well, actually, it was a woman, so yeah, just boobs is fine. Yeah.
And it like you literally watch as the flesh pulls it in. Like
I'm not getting that back.
I mean,
don't want it back, really. To be honest.
Wolfram.
Writing that one off.
As you guys are darting around this thing, it does occasionally try and like swat you away. It's just way too slow compared to you guys.
So it's pretty much staying in the same spot. Like
yeah. You can see. So because of how combat spread out, right? You can see this thing starting its movement towards KO again.
Okay,
but it's not its turn, so it can't.
The ground it's standing on,
Mhm.
stone or
it's on the you guys went out the Badland side of it, right? So you've got this. It's a little bit of grass, but mostly it's dust where the cliffs have crumbled away.
okay. I'm going to cast Produce Flame at its feet.
Okay.
So it just happens, and then if it starts its turn or moves into the fire, it takes 1d8 fire damage.
All right. So Hugo.
This erupting fire from the ground.
It's like
Does it just-
campfire size.
Yeah, does it just fill the space that it's in, or does it make it?
Yeah, it's basically one square, unless
Okay.
it spreads.
Okay.
It's regular
And
fire.
Are we like in tall grass or?
No. This is really scrubby
brush,
grass.
right? Scrub brush.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
You're not burning down the rest of core.
I mean, it is only the 4th game session.
Right. I mean,
So-
there's time.
Right. Did I think you know what the deal is here?
Yeah. You're gonna green flame blade it.
yeah, because
I don't-
cantrip.
I don't want to spam. I don't want to seem spammy. I'm not using Eldritch Blast.
Oh, I mean, like,
Well, look. At least if you're using green flame blade, is that still a warlock ability?
yeah, it's a warlock.
I was hoping it was paladin ability, because then at least it would be like spam in a can. But
Well, I mean,
Uh,
I am a celestial warlock, so
Right.
there's that. But yeah, so
So you
10
hit.
points of damage. Yeah, 10 points of damage.
10 points.
Yeah, and like I'm so in between like trying to like move out of the way of the fire and like line up a shot, like I do look to KO, Titani, and Thargus like just briefly, and I'm like bewildered by the fact that these two dudes are like now begging off of this fight when like what other fucking option do we have at the moment?
I mean that's a pretty fair
Yeah.
question.
So like, I like I'm like gesticulating at them like for a moment, and then I just stab this thing again.
So it again lets out this howl, but in this howl, you there's much less vigor and force to it. It doesn't like the wounds. It's so fat that the wounds almost seem to close, right? Like you can't. It's not bleeding. It's hard to tell how damaged this thing is, but you do hear this like cessation as this howl comes out. And it takes this last determined movement of its whopping 10 feet towards KO before it falters, and its next step brings it to its knee, and it falters more.
Would have taken some damage at the start of its turn too.
It's immune to fire.
And the chronic, okay.
It's the two things, man.
It's cool.
Well,
no, it's cool.
also-
It'll hopefully
also-
at least burn up the worms.
Right. And I mean, you do see that, like the worms are popping off of it, right? They are very much not immune to fire. But it reaches for KO, right? And you see its arm come down maybe 2 feet from where KO is standing, and just and it lets out this disgusting like and it deflates it, but it deflates like with flatulence. Like there is this rotted smell that comes from it as it just and it smells like rancid bacon grease, as all of the fat becomes juice and starts to leak out from this thing, spilling across the ground. The plants it touches die, right? They just shrivel up and die. KO steps away from the rancid puddle, and yeah, there is this. If you'd imagine a heavy set lady, right? Sized skeleton, so the skeleton's still the same. Maybe like a 5'5" woman skeleton inside of this 8 foot by 5 foot monster skin. That's kind of the outline you see underneath this now flaccid skin. About that time, this icky green fireball comes flying in and hits this thing. And it's not a true fireball, but you see the conductor standing on the front of the train who has like hurled this bolt this direction at the last freaking minute. For no effect. I mean, the thing's already dead, but it.
Go up and stab with a fork now.
I kind of look over my shoulder at him. I give him this really sarcastic thumbs up.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Good going, buddy.
And as you sort of look around, right, the camera takes in the scene. You guys are all breathing heavily, or wounded, or hiding and breathing heavily, or hiding wounded and breathing heavily. This thing's on the ground. The plants are dying, and there are faces plastered to all the windows looking out this direction. Like people are curious what was rocking the train, right? And they've been watching this. The guards are, or the mercenaries are up on the train, and you see that they have the young woman from earlier, the one that was crying. You see that they have her actually in chains.
Nice.
And yeah, the scene settles back on you, all standing around this thing, with Ko Titani standing there. He's sort of stroking his beard and shaking his head in this bewildered sort of moment before that washes over. It's gone, and he looks up at you all and, well done.
It seems you weren't the only target, or the Althenian wasn't the only target.
Perhaps he was. Perhaps he wasn't.
Well, I kind of look over my shoulder again. I think that old man's gonna need some therapy. He's not looking too good.
No, he's just like wide-eyed, horrified, looking out the window. Like he's kind of pointing.
Yeah, so
He's probably dancing in the aisles. She's gone. She's finally gone.
or he just kind of thinks to himself, I freaking knew it.
Ko steps around this the repugnant mess that's on the ground, and he walks over to you, Hugo, and he briefly like claps you on the shoulder. Glad I was right about you.
And you lose your 2 last hit points.
Yeah.
And he walks over to one of the ladders that takes him back up onto the train, and he starts climbing up.
I put the sacks back in the sheath, and like I just begin limping towards the train.
Yeah, I'm going to join him and give him like a sort of comradely, pat on the shoulder kind of thing, or arm on the shoulder kind of thing.
And I'm going to spend my last spell slot and do Cure Wounds on him.
All right.
Right.
I'm still dry heaving after releasing what little bit of lunch or meal that I've had over on the other side of the train. With
So you're like under the train, right?
Yes.
So I stop as we get near, like as Dura's casting the spell on me, and I'm like, you might want to crawl out from under there before the train begins to move again.
Okay.
That's some expensive vomit. You might want to say that.
The young halfling guard or mercenaries up there, and you see Ko pass her, and she gestures out towards the mess. Oh, what do we do with it? Ko stops and looks, and he looks back at you, all of you collectively. Do you have any need of it?
I think we just put as many miles between us and it as possible. I think at this point,
I shake my head.
Right, he looks at the halfling. I'll send someone for it later.
Hugo,
And-
9 points.
Yeah, Hugo gets back 9 hit points. You're not as dead as you once were.
Sweet.
And he goes up to the dining car and sits down.
What the hell was I thinking?
As you guys get up there, you see Barrett the butler. He's scrubbing up the blood off the windows of the room the kid was in. He's got him like kind of laid out on the table, a sheet over top of him. You do disturbingly see this arm hanging out from underneath the sheet, Hugo, that has the twin serpents running up of it, and then, like I said, the slash mark running the length of it.
Now, do I have any understanding of what that symbol means? All right. I stop. I stop there at the room, and this butler who's cleaning things up. His luggage, his possessions. Where are they?
He looks up and he's got like an apron on and gloves, and I'll locate them for you.
Have them brought to my room if you would.
He nods. Goes back to scrubbing.
And I go to my room actually to lay the fuck down.
I just got my butt kicked. All right.
Yeah. All up and down this goddamn train.
You see KO stops. He talks to the hulking human guard, and he gestures to the young lady, and he stands up from his chair, and he motions for the two of them to follow him, and he heads up towards the front of the train.
I think about asking KO what's it all about, and I decide I'm pretty hurting, and yeah, I'm still going to be on this fucking train tomorrow, so it'll keep till tomorrow.
On the bright side, you only have like 14 more hours on the train.
Yeah, well,
What could go wrong?
I'm heading back to the room I share with Icarus.
Yep. Hey, Chris, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go sit down in the dining car.
Mm-hmm.
Still in my armor. Just I give a twist to my helmet, which comes off. Put it down. I say, "What do you got for something a little stronger, maybe?"
He points at one of those like those bratted shut wooden boxes.
Yeah.
And then you see he just mouths the words "on the house" to you.
I look at him for a moment, and you see this little tiny tear, forming in the corner of my eye, and I give him a nod.
Okay. Thargus, what are you doing?
I'm going to just head back to my room. I'm kind of like walking very slowly, like I really want to pass out. And when I pass by Hugo's door, I'm not gonna like open it, but I kind of like just rap on it gently and like say into the door jamb, like, make sure that boy gets, say some words for him. That kid could easily have been me. And then I head to my room and attempt to go through some of my things to get some like makeup and powder and stuff to like fix my face and pull clothing out
and hide your shame.
Yeah, and then I just pass out on the bed. I just like fall face forward like on the bed. Like, this isn't going to work. I just
I don't remember. Did we show that that magical object, that magical stone to
KO?
To KO?
No.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I was going to, but he wandered off, so I thought it'll keep till tomorrow.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Or not.
If you look at it, Wolfram, it's powder in the cup now.
Oh, it dissolved. Oh, okay.
Could probably sell that powder for a few gold.
I imagine you probably could actually. Dirgerog, what are you doing?
Get my sword back and a bath and wash my clothes.
So a bath's a bit difficult on the train, but they will bring you hot water and a basin as often as you need it, if that's what it takes to scrub clean.
Try the buckets. Buy the bucket. Buy the bucket.
Yeah, so they do. The young lady who also the lady butler, she does that. She'll butler back and forth some water.
And then I join Hugo in our cabin. I pull down the bunk and I crawl up in it and I pass out.
Okay. Wolfram.
Yeah, so I'm back in my room thinking about what the hell. And this is way too much. It doesn't even involve me. Now more than ever, I want to get to the other side, leave this shit behind. And I say this kind of bitterly, eating one of the mini sandwiches I acquired.
That's right. Okay. So eventually the train starts to move again. Slow at first. Perhaps agonizingly slow for some of you who just want to get past here, to not be here anymore, to put maybe this and other things behind you, and as many miles between your problems and where you will be as possible. And the train begins to build up speed and build up speed. And the grinding of the wheels eventually becomes the hum of the rail. And whether intentionally or unintentionally, eventually you all nod off. Some of you have pleasant dreams. Some of you have dreams about maybe your father and whether you failed him or you haven't, or would he really have been impressed with the strike against the monster. Some of you dream of large engines and cogs and wheels. Maybe some of you are visited by these black serpents in your dreams. Ones that, much like the worms from that creature, are seeking to strike against you or dig inside you, burrow you, corrupt you from within. Maybe you don't dream at all. Maybe it's that sleep so heavy that you're not aware you're sleeping. And the train moves on. And the sun sets. And the red shadows of the Badlands become blue moonlit shadows. And the echo of the engine, of this groaning, trapped, restrained soul, moans through the edge of the Badlands. And eventually, Wolfram, you're woken with a ding, ding, ding in your ear. That's where we'll stop.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you to the 3 people who are going to watch this.
Three's just to start.
Yeah, leave some feedback. I'm fairly new to this campaigning thing with a new style. I did it in college, but not in a long time. And I'm interested to see what people have to say, my players included. Obviously, hit me up anytime. But I appreciate people who are watching, and we'll see you next time.